550,000 Americans reduced their debt by negotiating directly with their creditors. When you call, you'll be amazed at how much you can save and how quickly you can become debt-free. If you want off the debt treadmill, call National Debt Relief today. You don't need to declare bankruptcy, and you may qualify for significant debt relief. Call the Relief Hotline now to check what savings you may qualify for. Dial 800-476-3131. 800-476-3131. That's 800-476-3131.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
A high-stakes summit is fast approaching. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. And President Trump says he'll know quickly if Russia's President Putin is ready to make a deal on ending the war in Ukraine when they meet in Alaska tomorrow. Though he also tells Fox News Radio's The Brian Kilmeade Show.
This meeting sets up the second meeting. The second meeting is going to be very, very important because that's going to be a meeting where they make a deal, and I don't want to use the word divvy things up, but, you know, to a certain extent, it's not a bad term, okay?
The president says if tomorrow's meeting goes well, he will immediately call Ukraine's president and European allies, also saying he believes a sanctions threat helped get Putin to the table. This as Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent adds pressure to the president's sanctions warning.
The Treasury Secretary ahead of this summit is talking to his counterparts in Europe about stepping up and also buying energy from the United States, not Russia, which they're still doing.
I want to say that it is time for our European counterparts to put up or shut up.
All of this meant to put economic pressure on Russia to make a deal. President Trump saying that there will be severe consequences if Russia does not engage seriously about ending the invasion. He's targeting the money fueling the war. India getting an additional tariff up to 50% on September 17th for buying Russian oil. China, the largest consumer of Russian oil, also in the crosshairs to get secondary sanctions, possibly over oil purchases.
Fox Business's Edward Lawrence. The number of National Guard members on patrol in the nation's capital is expected to double by week's end in a Trump crackdown on D.C. crime.
I have never had so many calls thanking me. I tell you.
Right.
And I look at those streets, and those streets are safe, and they're going to be very safe in a week or so.
He also insists federal intervention is needed, questioning police data showing a decline in violent crime. Democrats call the Trump crackdown a power grab. America is listening to Fox News.
Let's go. You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in experience and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
We can handle the weather this afternoon. It's not too bad for the middle of August. Partly sunny skies and 89 for the high. Clear skies 71 for the overnight low tonight. Friday, the beast of summer comes knocking again. Sunny, back to hot and humid Friday afternoon, 95. Over the weekend, sunny, hot, and humid each day, about 97. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Don't melt in the heat. If your AC unit isn't working, Air Comfort Service can get you back in the comfort zone fast with an AC service call for only $99. To get your AC serviced, visit aircomfortservice.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me?
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome to the Annie Fry Show. How are you doing today on a Thursday afternoon? The weather outside today is perfect. When I see that the real feel on my phone, oh crap, it changed. This morning it was in the low 80s. Now I look at it, it's 103. Good thing I'm at work.
My computer usually it has the temperature in the corner. Today it just says humid.
Yeah, it's like, just forget about it. This is all you need to know. It's not too bad out there. We're grateful that you're with us this afternoon. We've got a full show for you. We've got Gregg Jarrett coming up in about 15 minutes from now, but we are also watching for the president to be speaking from the Oval Office. Pre-scheduled remarks that he will be delivering. They sent out yesterday on his schedule that he would be doing this, so we're going to cover that and let you know what the intent is. Tomorrow is the big meeting with Vladimir Putin, and I think it's going to be very interesting and important to watch how that develops. I was listening to him say here that he kind of hopes that they can have their initial meeting, that Putin and Trump can sit down, have that initial meeting, and then part ways, and then have another meeting in Alaska. I mean, that kind of makes sense. You talk, you find out where each other might be on the important issues, you part ways, and then you come back. Have you ever been in a negotiation? It's kind of like buying a car. You're like, here's what we can do. Mm-hmm. And you put your offer out there, and then the guy's like, I have to speak to the manager.
Mm-hmm. I hate that.
You kind of are the manager in the rest of your life.
I don't understand.
You try to make deals like when you go to buy eggs.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, go to Ruler Foods right now, eggs for a dozen.
But that's why I don't
Kroger,
like
grade A, large eggs, $1.99. You're like, the best I could do is $1.75.
When the clerk has to go, you know what, though? Let me go talk to my manager. I'm like, nope.
It's not how it
right
works
now
here.
Or I'm gone.
I'm at Ruler, and these prices are as low as they get. Donald Trump traditionally is the manager, but he puts himself in the position to go lead these negotiations. He is the art of the deal. It's so crazy how deal making is such a huge, enormous part of what his job is, because that's what he's made it to be. He inserts himself into all these situations and makes deals with people. There are other versions of Republicans who make threats. You know, if you're some sort of warmongering, right-leaning or far-right, whatever, hawk, and you're out there and you're just trying to flex your muscles militarily and make threats and everything, then you can get the job done that way. But that to me only lasts as long as you're in office, and then quickly people snap differently. Joe Biden did start this war. Donald Trump is trying repeatedly to end it. Is it a failure if he walks away from Alaska with nothing?
No, because it's really not up to him. I think he's trying everything he can to get this thing done, to get it over with, just for the sake of peace. I mean, literally for the sake of peace. That's it. He just wants to stop war. It's not his war. I mean, we do have interest in it, but I don't really think this is, even if he walks away with nothing, Trump is the only guy Putin will even talk to at this point in the world.
Some people would use that as a knock against him.
And I don't think it is at all. He's the only guy who Putin respects enough to come to a table and say, okay, I'll talk to you as an intermediate between me and the guy I'm at war with. He won't talk to Europe. He won't talk to anybody. So this actually is, de facto, it's Trump's job to get it done in a way.
Yeah. It's his job to try. Yeah. And, you know, if he was somebody who had started this war, I think he'd maybe bear a bit more of a responsibility to end it. But it cannot be compared enough. People do need to understand, because the implications for elections to come, the difference between having a strong, decisive personality and the ability to talk to people who maybe you don't even fully agree with on a whole variety of issues, to be able to go into those types of situations and produce it and have the willingness to talk to people who you don't agree with everything. Folks, the vice president called Donald Trump Hitler at one time. RFK Jr., he came out famously when I remember that point. It was a definite pivotal point of the campaign where the event, I think it was in Arizona, it was a TPUSA produced event where RFK Jr. came out on the stage with Donald Trump. And it was like, that was a shift. That was a momentum shift, and it thrusted it forward to say, they have a candidate? And knowing that RFK Jr. hasn't denounced all of his Democrat policy points and thoughts, but that they had this thing, and this is what RFK Jr. said repeatedly, they have this thing that they agree on, and we're going to do everything we can to shake our hands, to come together and get the job done, of course, with the making America healthy again. That is the way stuff gets done, and you can't be a closed-minded, egocentric, narcissistic type of personality that most people think that Donald Trump is. You can't be that person and be willing to share the spotlight with somebody who doesn't agree with everything you say. That's not there to just be a yes man. That's not there to just tell you how great you are and you know, lock arms to make sure that you always know who the enemy is, which is the other political party. We have a lot of enemies to the idea of what America is and American greatness can be. And to the Democrats, the only enemy is the political opponent that could take power away from them.
Yeah.
So the ultimate goal is always for the Democrat Party to retain and grow power.
Yes. This is a strange situation because while Trump has not ended the war in Ukraine, I said yesterday, that is entirely up to Putin. Putin is the one that can end this war. So he's meeting with Putin because you go to the guy who can get the job done. Can you imagine Joe Biden or Kamala Harris being president right now?
No.
And sitting down with Putin, they're not respected.
The very guy who just said, don't, who said, unless it's, as long as it's just a minor incursion or whatever. I mean, that's what, when Trump is out there saying this is Biden's war, Biden's complete and total lack of leadership caused it. How would he ever get out of this? And also, I mean, think about the dollars that he sent over there. Very willing to dump money in it. One of the things about the Biden administration that really still chafes me, and a lot of it doesn't make me angry because we kind of got what we deserved in that regard, I suppose, with Joe Biden. I mean, he was a terrible candidate. He was a terrible president. But the amount of time that Joe Biden got away with, and I'm looking at you, media, the amount of time that Joe Biden got away with shouting about there's a bipartisan bill to secure the border. Doesn't look like the Republicans really want to do it. We need Congress to act. He put on the congressional Republicans the entire responsibility for securing our southern border, and Donald Trump hasn't used Congress for any of it. I guess now he's funded it more, but the amount of security that he provided our country by using his executive actions, those are the same executive authorities that Joe Biden had. The whole southern border issue, or maybe all the borders issue, the whole issue to Joe Biden, all it was a chess move to try to make congressional Republicans look bad, to try to turn congressional Republicans into hypocrites who, had they jumped on that, air quotes, bipartisan bill that Senator Langford of Oklahoma, I think it is, that he initially came together. He was the Republican in the bipartisan Senate effort to put something together. He backed away from supporting it himself because all it did was streamline people flooding into our country and make the processing of them a little smoother. It didn't stop them from coming here. It didn't do what obviously the country on both sides of the aisle wanted to have them do. You have to stop and think to yourself, like, what is the actual purpose of government? What purpose are they supposed to serve? That is the most important question you can ask yourself when looking at options for somebody who you can vote and elect into any office, local, state, national.
There's rampant crime in Washington, D.C., and the first responsibility of government is to protect your life, liberty, and property. And that's simply not happening because they're not prosecuting these crimes to the fullest, and it's something we need to do. You talked about it just a minute ago, the horrific murder rates here in Washington, D.C., in comparison to places like Bogota, Colombia. I mean, this is just common sense law enforcement. But most importantly, when people get arrested, they need to go to jail. Only 1% of gun crimes actually go to jail. If you want gun laws, you need to enforce the law.
Yeah, well, that's right. It's a great point that you make, and this is our opening salvo for America.
So Maria Bartiromo interviewing Congressman Mike Herodopoulos of Florida, and he makes a great point. The very first, the entry-level responsibility for government should be to make sure that the people that the government serves are safe. That's not a complicated concept. The defense of the American people should be top level, because if people aren't safe, then you can't really do any of the other things that government might step in. And of course, we could argue about those responsibilities that should be engaged in on the government's time and dollar, which is your dollar. The lead stories right now are all centering around Donald Trump's effort to make Washington, D.C. safe again. We're asking you in the YouTube poll today, how does a preventative increased police presence make you feel? We've talked about St. Louis before, which I will remind you is under state control. Governor Kehoe and the state of Missouri is in charge of St. Louis. Why? Because the Democrat leadership here couldn't handle it. And there's nobody. I was going to make the YouTube poll today. Do you feel safe coming to St. Louis? And then I'm like, stupid question. Not even worth asking. We come here every day. Ryan, do you feel safe coming to St. Louis?
No, not really.
No, but this is where the paycheck is and is going to be, so we have to do it. And I've said this many times. If I could have any political office, I think I'd like to be the mayor of St. Louis, because I think the fixes are simple. And it starts with reassuring every person who comes here to be a consumer, to be a business owner, to be a tourist, whatever it might be, feels safe. I want police presence all over the place. Now, I think to myself, maybe if I see an increased police presence, and if that makes me feel safer, maybe that makes you feel different. That's our poll today. How does a preventative increased police presence make you feel? Safer, anxious, avoidant, or no different? Annie Fry YouTube channel. Gregg Jarrett on the Annie Fry Show next. PointPestControl.com, point with an E. Please consider hiring Point Pest Control for your quarterly service treatment at your home. That's the kind of customer I am for them. They come to my house quarterly, and they treat my house for all the pests. But specifically, I want to see zero spiders, none, zilch, nada. And we don't, because of Point Pest Control. I know that they like to tuck themselves away and hide away. I do not want them in my house. I do not want them near my children. I do not want them near me. And we don't have spiders in our house because of Point Pest Control. If one were to come out and see me, I would call Point Pest Control and sound the alerts and the sirens, and they'd come and save me. That's the way I feel, at least. If you want a Point Pest Control to come out and take care of your house, or maybe you have a more specific issue, mosquitoes, concerned about termite damage, those types of things in Missouri and Illinois alike, you can call 636-798-0023. 636-798-0023. Call my friends at Point Pest Control. Drop my name, Annie, when you do, and you're going to save an additional 10% on the best deals that they have going on. Point with an E, PointPestControl.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Mark Cox here. Let me introduce you to my friends at the Lit Cigar Lounge in St. Louis, where luxury meets comfort. Premium hand-rolled cigars, an extensive selection of rare bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails. It's comfortable for non-smokers, too. They have a state-of-the-art ventilation system. They have private lockers and live music every Friday night, perfect for date nights or business meetings or just winding down. Visit litstl.com.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2025 with the Turtles, Jay and the Americans, Little Anthony, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, the Vogues, and the Cowsills. August 21st, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Get ready for BTO, live in concert. Bachman-Turner Overdrive, with special guests April Wine and Zebra. Roll on down the Highway 2025 tour. Saturday, August 30th, the Family Arena, a night of vintage BTO. Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Bachman-Turner Overdrive.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
With conviction and clarity, The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
So we now have a timeline that the FBI has had for more than 8 years showing repeated political interference in career FBI agents' efforts to investigate corruption, pay-to-play allegations against the Clinton Foundation. This timeline confirms that three separate FBI offices had opened investigations. One was a fully predicated criminal investigation. Two were preliminaries to determine if a full criminal should begin. In all circumstances, beginning in the summer of 15 as the 2016 election with Hillary Clinton was ramping up through the end of the first year of the Trump presidency, senior Justice Department officials repeatedly thwarted the FBI from investigating. When Donald Trump was chanting "lock her up" on Hillary Clinton, Sally Yates was chanting back to the FBI, "shut it down." She gave them an explicit instruction for the FBI to stop investigating Hillary Clinton.
So I want to tee up here that's John Solomon, who's been doing some amazing reporting. Good to see actual journalism taking place. And John Solomon, I don't think he ever stopped doing that. Talking about a different side of this coin. We've heard a ton about the Russia hoax and what they were doing to Donald Trump, but we haven't talked as much about what they weren't doing to the people who were, in fact, of course, Donald Trump's opponents. Let's get Gregg Jarrett back on here with us, Fox News legal analyst and a former defense attorney and law professor. And you just need to go read the library of books that he has authored on a lot of these particular issues. Gregg Jarrett, welcome back to the show.
Annie, good to be with you.
Thank you so much. This revelation here, Kash Patel uncovering this email where Sally Yates is saying, shut down these investigations, shut it down into the Clinton Foundation. What does this mean, especially in the context of how aggressively they were pursuing made-up stuff on Donald Trump?
Well, it's obstruction of justice. You know, when investigators have probable cause to bring a case against Hillary Clinton for pay-to-play with the Russians to the tune of $145 million that was funneled into her Clinton Foundation, and the Deputy Attorney General says, shut it down, we're not going to prosecute. And the Deputy FBI Director, Andrew McCabe, says the equivalent when his agents who were investigating Clinton pushed back. He said, well, okay, don't shut it down, but you can't do anything without my approval. And, of course, he refused to grant approval. So the case that could and should have been brought against Hillary Clinton, and I outline it in the first 4 chapters of my book, The Russia Hoax, 7 years ago, was never brought against Hillary, and neither, of course, infamously, was her, email scandal in which she quite clearly violated the Espionage Act, which is multiple felonies. That was shut down by FBI Director James Comey without authority. And, so as the subtitle of that book said, the illicit scheme to clear Hillary Clinton and frame Donald Trump, that was the first part of the scheme. Clear Hillary of the email scandal, clear her of her own Russian collusion, pay-to-play schemes that she ran so that she could get elected president of the United States. And at the same time, actually on the same day that she was cleared by Comey, the FBI received the first batch of the phony dossier. In London, it was handed over to an FBI official, literally the same hour that Comey cleared Clinton. It's all in both my books.
It's so when this new information comes and is revealed now, and you have an archive of all of these things that were happening almost in real time. And I would encourage people to go to thegreggjarrett.com to see these books. I really wonder, statute of limitations seems to be something that gets brought up. If there were crimes that were committed and they were covered up back then, can these prosecutions still happen? I don't really know where justice exists right now, what's actually possible, because, of course, people are politically getting their hopes up quite a bit. How is justice served in these regards?
Well, first of all, there's two kinds of justice, a public accounting of corruption. But then there's the legal aspect of bringing criminal cases. For most federal crimes, there's a 5-year statute of limitations. But for violations of the Espionage Act, and Adam Schiff is now under investigation for that, there is actually a 10-year statute of limitations under the Internal Security Act of 1950. Congress felt as though, espionage was so serious, they needed to extend it to 10 years. So with respect to some of those cases that involve the Espionage Act, a case can still be brought. But, even if there's a 5-year statute of limitations, if there is a conspiracy that involves obstruction and evidence that was deliberately concealed, the statute of limitations doesn't begin until the discovery of this concealed evidence. And of course, Tulsi Gabbard, John Ratcliffe, Kash Patel are still discovering deliberately hidden evidence, and they're promptly disclosing it to Congress.
So it sounds like this could be considered fresh once again. I mean, if you were in the position of a Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton too, because the Clinton Foundation is being discussed here. We've also heard President Obama's name involved in the information changing, leading into making it so that they could suggest that somehow Donald Trump was nefariously involved with Russia and Vladimir Putin. Are you nervous if you're those people right now?
Yeah, I absolutely. Look, I'd be nervous if I were Obama and Hillary, because they're surely going to receive subpoenas to testify before a grand jury. And if they lie, that opens up a brand new, fresh, perjury charge against them. So, I mean, my guess is they would invoke the Fifth, which, is a bad look, right? Mm-hmm. Most people, regard invoking the Fifth as somebody who's trying to hide their own complicity in crimes. So, I'd be worried if I were Comey, Brennan, Clapper. It appears, and again, I recounted it in my books, Witch Hunt, all the false statements they made to Congress, which are crimes. I laid out the statute. I laid out their false testimony. And, I'd be worried if I were them. And then the people on the Hillary Clinton campaign, and in my last column a few days ago, I identify their names. These were people who were involved in the plan approved by Hillary personally to frame Donald Trump, falsely accusing him of colluding with Russia, which they knew was totally untrue. And in fact, they funded the phony dossier that the FBI debunked almost from the outset.
We're speaking with Gregg Jarrett, a wonderful source of information to follow in the latest developments that we end up hearing in the news. He's been on this from the very beginning. You can go to thegreggjarrett.com. The website has a load of information on it. I'm looking at it right now. Adam Schiff has been repeatedly coming up in the news. Of course, we've discussed the mortgage fraud situation that he could be potentially facing. But now there's a whistleblower that has come out who Adam Schiff says is completely discredited, that this person doesn't carry any weight and is completely not telling the truth. But the whistleblower has alleged that Adam Schiff was directing classified information to be released in a disparaging way to Donald Trump. Do you feel like this whistleblower is causing actual real legal trouble for Adam Schiff?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Schiff's worried. His vigorous denials is proof of that. And look, there was a pivotal meeting in which of the House intelligence staff on the Democrat side, and this is a Democrat whistleblower, by the way, but there were other people who heard Schiff order that they leak classified information to the media to smear Trump. And this particular whistleblower objected and said, well, you can't do that. That's criminal. And apparently Schiff responded by saying, well, I'm protected by the speech and debate clause, which is not true. Apparently Schiff never read the Constitution because that clause specifically excludes treason in any felony. So it also excludes non-official acts. Well, leaking classified documents is not an official act. So the question was, why wasn't Schiff arrested and charged when the FBI first learned about it in 2017? Well, the answer is he was being protected by the FBI director, initially James Comey, then Christopher Wray, a succession of attorneys general, Jeff Sessions, Rod Rosenstein, Bill Barr, Merrick Garland, all of whom in my book are utterly worthless. And that's how you got away with it.
I don't want to overstate Gregg Jarrett because I watch you give the greatest legal analysis on Fox News, and I always lean in when you're talking. Is this exciting for you because it's kind of in you're like super in your lane, and you've been studying this for so long to see these developments right now that are starting to bubble to the surface?
Well, it confirms and vindicates what I wrote so long ago and have written about ever since. But I think Americans should be deeply alarmed at the magnitude of corruption that was endemic at the FBI and the Department of Justice and the CIA and other intelligence agencies that were being run at the time by Comey, Clapper, and Brennan. And it's anathema to our principles of justice and the rule of law. And these people subverted justice, and they did it for personal political reasons and, political gain. They hated Donald Trump. They loathed his policies, and they decided they'd break the law to bring him down. They didn't succeed. And in the process, they committed, in my mind, a variety of smorgasbord of crimes. And they got away with it. And that should deeply trouble Americans to see that kind of corruption embedded in what many people have now described as the deep state, and it still exists.
That was going to be my question. This is proof that the deep state exists, and you wrapped it up confirming that. Certainly, you have been sounding the alarm for a long time on this, and I'm glad that the Trump administration is looking to expose all of this. And if people are interested in checking out your books, they still are very, very relevant. Go to thegreggjarrett.com. Gregg Jarrett, thank you so much for being here with us today. We love having you. Please come back soon.
Good talking to you, Annie. Thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right. Well, quick break. The president is speaking from the White House. He's talking about Social Security. I think he's got an announcement on that. We're going to take a very quick break right here. And we come back, we're going to pick up Donald Trump's remarks from the Oval Office right from where he starts addressing the issue next on The Annie Frey Show.
High on your loving's got me buzzing like a street light. It's still early out in Cali, baby. Don't you want to rally again? Find a road with no.
AirComfortService.com. That's the website. As we heard from Ryan earlier, his computer just says outside to give any more information than just humid. Oh, St. Louis in the summer. You need a good air conditioning unit, that's for sure. And you also need good air conditioning people so that while everything's running great, you're good, you're fine. But if you do need someone to come out and give it a check and see if things are functioning the way they're supposed to, you can trust the people who are going to come out to give you factual information, to not hard sell you on things that you don't actually need so that they can use you to make money. That's not what's going to happen with Air Comfort Service. I speak from experience as a customer myself. When you call 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, you're going to be connected to the best in the business. And those people are at Air Comfort Service. Have them come out and do an AC system check on your HVAC unit and make sure that everything is running great. The system is ready to handle the heat by offering the preferred partner plan that gets you the entire HVAC system check twice a year for only $19 a month. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
Rascal Flatts is coming to Enterprise Center on January 17th. We have 2 chances in this show for you to win free tickets. Listen in the 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock hour. 4 chances today and tomorrow to win tickets to see Rascal Flatts on January 17th. It is 12:36. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
The president is speaking from the White House right now, marking 90 years, I think it said, of Social Security. And it sounds like they might be taking some action on that. Let's listen in from the White House. President Trump speaking behind the Resolute desk.
Of one of the most significant pieces of legislation ever signed into law, the Social Security Act of 1935. And we're going to make it stronger, bigger, and better. We're doing a job. In the campaign, I made a secret pledge to our seniors that I would always protect Social Security, and under this administration, we're keeping that promise and strengthening Social Security for generations to come. You keep hearing stories that in 6 years, 7 years, Social Security will be gone, and it will be if the Democrats ever get involved, because they don't know what they're doing. But it's going to be around a long time with us. Very much, you'll be surprised to hear some of the numbers. I'm delighted to be joined by the Commissioner of the Social Security Administration, Frank Bisignano, who in the world of business, in fact, I wrote some of the little things down, that he's had an amazing, he was Chief Operating Officer of J.P. Morgan Chase. He worked for Jamie Dimon, and Jamie Dimon said that he was amazing. So think of that, Chief Operating Officer, J.P. Morgan Chase, had a storied career. Then he went to First Data. For those in the business, you'd know it's the largest payment company anywhere in the world. And worked for Henry Kravis, and it was in big trouble. He took it over as CEO. He made it incredible. They merged with Fiserv, and he became CEO of that, and that became extremely successful. I was in Milwaukee. I guess they have the Milwaukee Arena, and where we had some good success and some good speeches. But he's a really legendary guy, and he wanted to do this. I mean, he just wanted to straighten out Social Security because he loves our country. And what he's done in a few months is amazing. Almost 60 million American seniors rely on Social Security for peace of mind and a life of dignity and retirement. These Americans paid into the system, and they deserve leaders in Washington who are going to protect the benefits they've had and protect Social Security. Under Biden, Social Security went down like nobody's ever seen. It deteriorated. There's never been anything like it. The 4 years of Biden were very, very destructive. It couldn't have gone on much longer. Social Security was going to be destroyed. It was being destroyed. The average call wait time reached an all-time high of more than 42 minutes. Field office wait times were at 32 minutes, which is unheard of, and the disability claims backlog was the longest ever in recorded history. In other words, it was run just like the country was run. It was run really badly. But I'm pleased to report that under our leadership, and Frank in particular, the changes he's made and what he's done is sort of a miracle. Sort of like what happened with the country as a whole. Field office wait times are now down 30% since last year, and it looks like it's going to a total record number. And the record was set in a long time ago when the world was a lot different place. So we're gonna beat that record. Call wait times are down 73% while serving twice as many customers per day. The disability claims backlog is down 26%, and seniors now have 24/7 online access to their accounts, which they never had before, whereas under Biden, the website was down 29 hours a week for maintenance purposes. It was essentially not open very much. They were always maintaining it, but they didn't know what the hell they were doing. They had a person running that had no idea what they were doing. Among my very first acts was to order all government employees to return to the office or be removed from the job, which means our Social Security offices are now open for full business hours 5 days a week. So unlike being shut down all the time, we're open at record levels also. We're making it really great for the people that want and demand Social Security, and they paid into the system. They deserve it. Last month, I signed one big, beautiful bill and allowed no tax on Social Security for our great seniors, okay? So how's that? Not bad, right? No tax on Social Security for our seniors. And to protect our benefits, we've already kicked nearly 275,000 illegal aliens off of the Social Security system. These are people, many of them have already left the country, and yet we were sending them checks all the time. And 275,000, and that number is now even larger than that, Frank. It's an unbelievable job. And what that's doing is making the system strong. It's making it strong. Biden never kicked anybody off. Everybody joined. And we're carrying out historic deportations to remove many more illegals committing Social Security fraud. It's the Social Security fraud that was taking place at levels that nobody's ever seen. We cleared 12.4 million names listed in the Social Security database over 120 years of age. Think of that. So we had 12.4 million names where they were over 120 years old. Is that right? That's a hell of a statement. I have a feeling, Dan, that's not really really didn't happen, did it? So you have 12.4 million names listed in the Social Security database that were over 120 years of age, meaning you were breaking records, because I've never heard of anybody at 125. There were nearly 135,000 people listed who were over 160 years old, and in some cases getting payments. So somebody's getting those payments, and we're after that. We're also fighting the menace of inflation to make life more affordable for American seniors, and we've ended Biden's inflation nightmare. So we had the worst inflation in the history of our country, and now our inflation is down to a perfect number, a beautiful number, hardly any at all. And yet our country is taking in tens of billions of dollars and trillions of dollars, actually trillions of dollars in tariffs. You know all about it. It's been amazing. They say, why are we taking in so much money? Last week they found $29 billion and they couldn't figure out where it came from. I said, check the tariff shelf. And they said, how did you know that's where it came from? We're taking in billions and even trillions of dollars in tariffs, paid by other countries who, frankly, were taking advantage of us for many, many years. And they were doing that to us, but our people didn't know it. We didn't have smart business people. We've ended Biden's inflation nightmare and came in below expectations, and yet, again, this past month we set records. Gasoline prices are way down, and really dramatically, as everybody knows, and energy prices have been going down, other than in certain states where you have Democrat-run states where they put windmills all over the place. Anytime you see a windmill, you'll say, well, they have bad energy costs, and it's happening in New Jersey. I saw that there's a revolution going on in New Jersey. They closed up a nuclear power plant, and they're raising electricity rates by 21, 22, and 28%, something like that. And you're going to have a new governor in New Jersey. I'll tell you what, you have a good man running in the Republican Party. He'll get them down. But what they've done is they've killed so many good sources of energy for very expensive windmills and lots of other things that don't work. 401ks and retirement accounts are soaring, and the stock market is setting record highs. Almost every day we're going record highs, and yet we're taking in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. So it's turned out that Trump was right and they were wrong. A few smart people knew what was going to happen. A few of us were right. So we're going to keep the fighting going. We're going to make America's seniors every single day. We're going to fight for them. We're going to make them richer, better, stronger in so many different ways. But Social Security is like pretty much the one that we think about, and we love it, and we love what's happening with it. And it's going to be good for 90 years and beyond. Again, you were given only a short period of time. Social Security was supposed to be like down. Had they won the election, Social Security would have defaulted during Biden or Kamala's election, whoever they so chose.
President Trump marking the 90th anniversary of Social Security. I don't know if did you have that? That's like one of those, like today is National Bagel Day. And it's also the 90th anniversary of, I don't know that it's Bagel Day. Social Security, 90 years of it. And in some way, shape, or form, if you listen to the president there, if Kamala Harris would have won, he said it would have defaulted. The commissioner for Social Security has an article out right now that says that their vision is straightforward: a Social Security administration that is easier to access, faster to respond, and better prepared to meet the challenges of tomorrow. That vision is rooted in our commitment to public service and grounded in the belief that government can and should work for everyone. Since taking office, I have focused on modernizing operations, investing in our workforce, eliminating fraud, waste, and abuse, and improving how we serve the public, whether online, over the phone, or in person. Now we get to watch the leftists complain that we're eliminating the fraud, waste, and abuse of Social Security. Insert outrage here.
Oh, I'm just waiting. This will be Hakeem Jeffries tonight, talking about how they want to get rid of Social Security, even though that's not what they said.
It wouldn't be terrible if we could create a system that replaced Social Security. Obviously, just the ridding of Social Security is not something you can pull the plug on. But is this really the best we can do? I think the Trump administration is willing to ask that question. And maybe getting rid of the people taking advantage of the system first is the right and necessary step. Begins America, 7 subtle signs you might be oversharing. Next. Stewart's American Mortgage. He's got a bagel loan guy. That's probably why I was talking about Bagel Day.
That's why you did that.
I just made that up. It was subliminal. Get yourself a bagel loan mortgage. No dollars in closing costs. That's really the reason to do it. Any low rate that you're going to qualify for, you can do that with Stewie. The closing costs that you don't have to pay, it's not a gimmick. He doesn't roll it into the loan and you just pay for it with interest over the course of 30 years or whatever it might be. There are no closing costs. That's the magic of it. And I have refied twice with a bagel loan myself and secured a beautifully low rate on the home that I'm in right now. It's pretty wonderful. Rates aren't going to be that low again, but they have come down from their highest highs. So you might want to reach out to Stewie and talk to him about a bagel loan refinance right now. If you've been thinking about getting in the market and buying and selling some property, which means you'll need a new loan, you want to get a hold of Stewie right now to get set up for that bagel loan so you're ready to go when the time is right. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
From border security to school choice, the Constitution to the culture war. Made in America. Heard in the Midwest. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Calling all future sportscasters. Sharpen your skills and learn from the best of the Missouri Broadcasters Association Sportscasters Forum Tuesday, September 16th in St. Louis. Join Cardinals beat reporters, broadcasters, and the legendary John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, for insider sessions on play-by-play, interviewing, reporting, and more. Then cap the day with a Cards-Reds game at Busch Stadium. Open to college students and broadcasting pros. Just $10 for students, lunch, and a game ticket. Space is limited. Registered by September 2nd at MissouriBroadcasters.org.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Live, local, and conservative. It's the Annie Fry Show. 97.1 FM Talk.
Wiggins!
Wiggins! Love it.
Got right into it there.
Right into
no
it. Don't even
around.
need La Bamba.
That's radio.
Yeah. Doing it and doing it and doing it well.
Let's talk about it for a while.
Here we go
and
with
ruin
it.
the moment.
Yeah.
LL Cool J.
Representing Queens here in St. Louis. So these are 7 subtle signs
What
you
does that
might
mean?
be. I don't know. I'm not from Queens. So
Oh, you mean like the place?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a joke. Representing Casino Queens here in St. Louis, East St. Louis. 7 subtle signs you might be oversharing, a problem that I tend to not have. These are the ways that you will know
We'll be the judge.
if you are oversharing. We all know somebody like this.
Who's the biggest oversharer in this room?
Clearly, it's Brad. If Ethan came in, it'd be Ethan. But he's not here.
Do you think Ethan's an oversharer?
It's just not me. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I don't know. In this room, it's a tie between you two at best.
It's me. Number 1.
I'm the problem.
You feel the need to fill every silence.
Oh God. This person is gonna be my worst nightmare. Like you got to say something. Can't just be in. Do you like silence?
I don't love it. I do feel as if I need to fill it, but I'm trying to take their advice.
Yeah.
And allow there to be some space in the conversation. Because that's what they're suggesting.
Silence is powerful.
They say to get back into rhythm, try the 3-beat pause. To do that.
You know, we literally have 3 minutes left.
After you finish a thought,
Maybe more.
Simply take one quiet breath. And mentally
That's not quiet.
Count to
That's
3
a noisy breath.
before speaking again. This creates the perfect opening for that person that you're talking to return the ball, so to speak. Number 2. You often regret what you said after you said it.
That's an overshare. Do you have those? Do you ever have that problem?
Yeah, I do. Because I
Regularly?
feel like I need to sometimes end a conversation or on a
Brad,
good
are
note.
you fighting with YouTube?
I am not
Get in
fighting
the
with you.
conversation here on the radio. Do you ever regret saying, like, do you ever walk away and go, why did I say that?
I've done that a couple times in my life that really stick out, and I'm like, oh, it's like one of those things where you say it, and then you're trying to grab the words as they're coming out of your mouth to put them back. But
I
you
hate
can't.
trying to say something and then mixing two words together that don't matter. Like
That's not oversharing.
I know, but
that's
it's just
being a poor speaker.
I did this yesterday to the McDonald's drive-thru. I said instead of thanks or you too, like it was like have a good day. I said like toot or something, mixing them together. It wasn't quite that, but it was close. Allow some
Great
space
pause.
in the conversation.
Great pause.
This is what you do. This is what the psychologist says to do. This means that we're all healthy.
We're going to need more time on this segment, Brad, because Ryan is taking his
He's
time.
pausing.
And our time.
I wonder if you listen to this segment at 2 times speed,
We'll never know.
if it still works. Number 3, people don't always reply to your texts after you share something. You put something out there, nobody says anything.
Yeah,
Does that mean you're oversharing?
definitely could mean.
Do people do this to you much?
I feel like people definitely want to talk to me about politics a lot, like just in my life. And I don't want to do that in public. If it's in a text message or whatever, I'm big on like if you want something from me, then ask for it. Otherwise, I don't know. This is hard to put into words here, but I got a lot of things going on. I'm not like sitting around just waiting to chat with people. But you know, if I'm at a volleyball game and we're there for a few hours, I don't mind chatting with people.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sitting around looking for conversation that isn't applicable to the thing I'm doing right then, because usually that conversation is taking away from things that I have to be doing.
This drives me nuts.
Do people reply to your messages?
Yeah, but if they don't,
Are you sharing things and
especially
like,
if it's a
that's weird to me.
question? If it's a question like, "Hey,
Sure.
I need this" or whatever, and nobody responds.
But I think the purpose of this conversation, it's like you say something to someone and there's no response back.
because it's conversational. I understand that, but I know I don't always. If there's not an immediate need to the question, or if it's a question, I'll answer it. But if there's not an immediate need to the statement,
Yeah,
I sometimes
I'm
don't.
not sitting there just going like, oh, let's just chat.
Yeah, let's talk, because I
No.
just don't have the attention span to do it. You post emotional content online too much.
Or passive aggressively.
We all
emotional
know
stuff.
this person, and that's an obvious one.
Are you that person?
No, I'm not.
Do you post anything emotional?
Not really.
Emotion doesn't have to just be sad face. It could be anger, rage, frustration. Could be overly happy all the time.
Yeah, it's always highlights. I guess that's social media.
Brad, you know anyone like that?
No. I mean, I see that more on Facebook, and I'm not on Facebook as much as I am the other social platforms. So, like on Twitter, yeah, there are people out there, but I don't know them.
Last one. People respond with polite nods or flat wow reactions.
No, this is what it is. That's crazy.
That's in here.
Is it?
That's in here.
Yeah. That is I need to move on. I know this is important to you, but right now it's not that important to me. That's
Yep.
crazy.
Wow.
Go back, somebody in archive, all the times Ryan's told me a story on this show, and I've been like, that's crazy.
That never happens.
Rodney Davis next.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
RulerFoods.com. Shop and save with your groceries at Ruler Foods. Right now, you can save on eggs. I was talking about that a little bit earlier. $1.99 a dozen for Kroger Grade A large eggs. That'll get you in the door. That's a great savings. How many eggs do you go through? Do you guys do a lot of eggs in your house, Ryan?
I got 2 kids that are allergic, so the rest of us love them, but we can't eat them a lot.
Oh, man. We go through a serious amount of eggs in our home. So if you're looking to stock up, get to Ruler Foods by the 19th. So you got a few days left to go and stock up on $1.99 a dozen Kroger Grade A large eggs at your local Ruler Foods. Also, Kroger 80% lean ground beef for burgers, tacos, all those things that you're making for the family. You can stock up in that ground beef, load up the freezer. $4.99 a pound for Kroger 80% lean ground beef. When you visit their website, you're going to see a place you can put in your zip code and find the Ruler Foods most conveniently located to you, plus see the recent savings that they have going on. RulerFoods.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Security is 90 years old today. Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump just marking the occasion in the Oval Office, telling reporters his reforms are making the system stronger.
And to protect our benefits, we've already kicked nearly 275,000 illegal aliens off of the Social Security system. These are people, many of them have already left the country.
Also highlighting efforts to target fraud, in part by clearing names listed at more than 120 years old. Democrats accuse Republicans of stripping Medicaid benefits. Tomorrow, the president meets with Russia's President Putin in Alaska.
We're going to see what happens with our meeting. We have a big meeting, and it's going to be I think very important for Russia, and it's going to be very important for us, and important for us only that we're going to save a lot of lives.
President Trump says he believes the Russian and Ukrainian leaders will make peace. He plans to call Ukraine's President Zelensky immediately if the Putin meeting goes well. Multiple states recovering from historic flooding in the Midwest and Southeast.
Severe weather and flooding the last couple of days slamming Chattanooga, Tennessee, where we're told one of at least 4 victims who died trying to maneuver around posted barricades when he was swept away, while others like Rhonda Kelly had to be rescued.
They met me right here at the door. I'm out. That's the blessing.
Cleanup and assessment continues with infrastructure damage, and there's a level 2 emergency in Wisconsin, where a dam is at risk of potential failure in the town of Merton because of flooding in recent days. It's also caused tens of millions of dollars in damage in several southeast Wisconsin counties.
Fox's Jeff Bonasso. Forecasters expect Tropical Storm Erin to become a hurricane by tomorrow and then strengthen into the first major hurricane of the Atlantic season. Still too far over open waters to be sure about the track, but so far nearly all models show it turning east of the U.S. next week. America is listening to Fox News.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call Cordell & Cordell today, because your business is more than a job, it's your legacy.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
We can handle the weather this afternoon. It's not too bad for the middle of August. Partly sunny skies and 89 for the high. Clear skies 71 for the overnight low tonight. Friday, the beast of summer comes knocking again. Sunny, back to hot and humid Friday afternoon, 95. Over the weekend, sunny, hot and humid each day, about 97. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Rain.
That's us.
sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Look, sticking on your state's map, every major group that grades the fairness of congressional maps gives your state an F. Common Cause, a nonpartisan government watchdog, even says your map, and I'm going to quote, represents a nearly perfect model for everything that can go wrong with redistricting. And I guess the question is, you talk about preserving democracy. How do you preserve democracy if you're using the same tactics that you've criticized Texas Republicans for?
But as I say, what they're talking about is a distraction. The reality is that the violation of people's voting rights is what Texas is attempting to do. That's what's wrong with their efforts right now.
So there you have J.B. Pritzker on with Kristen Welker on NBC of all places. He says that what Texas is doing is a distraction from trying to violate the voting rights of those people in Texas. Well, I got a bone to pick with you, Governor Pritzker, because I am in the Illinois 13th District, and the map that you redrew and signed into law really sort of took away my voting rights from the district that used to exist. The representative that I used to have, you intentionally put representatives together that had to compete against each other. And I don't think that anybody looks at the Illinois 13th right now and goes, oh, well, that's compact, barely contiguous. And the one person who can speak very clearly to this is my former representative, Rodney Davis. We're excited to have you back on the show, the Honorable Rodney Davis. Thank you for being with us here today. How have you fared this week, last couple weeks, watching the Illinois 13th District become part of national news for gerrymandering?
Well, I will not say I'm faring worse because I did notice, Annie, I had no Nickelback introduction. I'm a little concerned by that. That was in my contract.
It's on the way out, sir.
Today.
It's on the way out. We'll have it for you on the way out, for sure, of course.
Well, I think I was going to say Brad needs to be suspended at least.
We're going to put that one on Ethan. That's for sure. Thank you for being there and reminding us, of course.
Oh, no. It's great to talk with you again. And it's kind of, it's bittersweet, but it's really, I just sit back and I chuckle listening to Governor Pritzker, but this hypocrisy is nothing new. Remember, Governor Pritzker said when he was running for governor that I will not let a gerrymandered map come to my desk. I will veto it. It will not be signed into law. And he did the exact opposite. He's, it's nothing new. He's a hypocrite when it comes to policies. And really, what's happening in Texas right now is not something that's just related to Republicans. Remember, Democrats, through their legal lawfare firms like Eric Holder's, have been going into Republican states, only Republican states, and suing to be able to change mid-district lines for this decade and decades before. So it's typical they're getting upset when somebody else decides to play their own game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm paying very close attention to how J.B. Pritzker, who, there's no camera he doesn't want to be in front of, that's for sure. When he is put in a position, especially by the Stephen Colberts of the world, the NBCs of the world, really putting him on the spot to say, how do you defend these maps in the state of Illinois? He never even attempts to defend them. He deflects, and then he starts talking about Texas once again. Can you talk to us a little bit? We're speaking with the former representative of Illinois' 13th District. That's that snake-like, salamander-looking thing in the middle of the state of Illinois, of which I still reside in. Can you talk to us about what it was like to be in your position, to know that the Democrats and the J.B. Pritzkers of the world were going to get to redraw these and approve these maps? You were representing the 13th District. What were your observations as this process was going on? Maybe similar to how these Democrats in Texas might be feeling right now.
Yeah, I knew that they were going to come after us. That's why I talked about it. I was probably the most vociferous member of the Illinois delegation on redistricting. And, everything we said that was going to happen happened. The hypocrisy that we said was going to take place from Governor Pritzker took place. And now Illinois has 3 Republican representatives out of 17. The Republican vote in Illinois is clearly is a lot more than that when it comes to the percentage of votes that vote Republican, especially in downstate Illinois. But they don't care. And frankly, what I'm afraid of is what I've seen J.B. Pritzker going around talking to Stephen Colbert about. Kristen Welker. I got to give her credit for the tough questioning. I enjoy being on with her and talking to her about a wide variety of issues, and she's been very fair, especially with questions like this. But he's talking about doing what California is going to do, which is, hey, you've heard us say how we want fairness in redistricting until we don't want it anymore. And my fear is he's going to try and draw a map and pass it through the supermajority in the Illinois House and Senate and eviscerate the 3 last Republicans that we have in the congressional delegation, which would be tragic.
Yeah, it certainly would. 44% of the vote is my recollection that went towards Trump in the 2024 election, and we have 3 of 17 votes in Congress. It doesn't seem very representative of the people. Do you look at what's going on in Texas and the efforts that their legislature, the state legislature, is trying to do? Is what they're trying to do to benefit Republicans the exact same thing as what the Democrats in the state of Illinois did? Or are there any things that make the Texas situation different than the Illinois situation?
Well, what makes it different? It's mid-decade, number one. And also, when you look at what's happening in Texas, whether I agree or disagree, it's really up to the states to decide how they set their elections. Remember, the voters in California, they created an independent commission that many Democrats, I don't know if Gavin Newsom supported it at the time or not. I'm sure he did. But many Democrats said they wanted complete fairness. Well, they figured out a way to corrupt that process and make it partisan to where they have over 50 congressional seats and only a handful of Republicans. They're talking about if Texas moves in this mid-decade redistricting, then California is going to have change the law that was created by the voters, not by the legislature. And then when that happens, what you're going to see is J.B. Pritzker, who will not be outshone by his potential presidential rival, Gavin Newsom. He's going to try to do the same to show Gavin Newsom up. And it becomes a chess game or a checkers game rather than a game of what's best for constituents. And that's what's wrong.
Yeah. Politics maybe at its worst. We're speaking with former Representative Rodney Davis of the 13th District. His district was redistricted. You got put, I believe it was in the 15th, correct? Or what did I did? Yeah, and
you want to talk about a gerrymandered mess? Go look at that one.
No joke. It's absolutely ridiculous. I am curious though about your thoughts as somebody who has been on the unfortunate end of a supermajority of Democrats who are able to influence the new maps that Illinois is now represented by. When you hear President Trump talking about trying to make elections more fair, they've talked about redoing the census. Of course, the Census Bureau has come out and said that there were a lot of mistakes or errors that were involved in the last census. Are there any things that you hear people talking about when it comes to election integrity that you feel like there's a winner issue right there? We need to really pursue that.
Oh, it's voter ID. Voter ID is about a 90% supported issue nationwide, Republicans and Democrats. For the life of me, it's just like Democrats arguing against increased criminal control and accountability in Washington, D.C. It's no win for them. You talk about people aren't able to get IDs. Everybody can get an ID, and give an ID for free if you have to. But if you want to make every American feel like their elections are as safe as they can be and still maintain the Federalist approach where we let our states set the time and date of their own elections, then let's pass a national voter ID so that any federal election, people have to show that they are an American and thus eligible to vote. It's not something that isn't required in other nations. But here in America, I've been to certain parts of our country where I've watched Democrats basically make that their hill to die on, and I cannot understand why.
I bet you know why. I think we know why. It doesn't make sense in an America First mentality, but if you don't have that America First mentality, I guess you try to do everything you can to subvert the election process. I'm hearing a lot about the Illinois State Republican Party right now, potentially a leadership change at the top. You got 44% of the state of Illinois. I don't think that most people across the country would look at the state of Illinois and go, oh, yeah, they're 44% red voters there, of course, with maybe 66% of the vote in Cook County, or 66% of the population there in Cook County They have a huge portion of the state of Illinois, of course. I think 44% sounds like it's doable. Like maybe with the right candidate, we could win a statewide election. Do you feel like there's any hope right now for the state of Illinois in this upcoming big election that we have, that maybe some of that 44% could get better representation across the state?
Well, there's always hope. You can never count anyone out in an election. I mean, I was told number one, I shouldn't run ever because I wasn't going to win. Well, I won 5 straight times. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of times you surprise the prognosticators. And in this case, you have to have candidates that are willing to go out and put a good message forward. Now, is it going to be a tough environment because of J.B. Pritzker's unlimited piggy bank? Absolutely, it's going to be a tough environment. But that shouldn't stop Republicans from putting forth candidates and running to win in a state like Illinois.
Yeah, certainly. My understanding is you serve as the head of government affairs at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Do you have is that correct?
It is.
What is your responsibility there? What kind of work are you doing now?
Well, thanks, Annie. Look, I'm enjoying it. I miss my friends in Congress. I miss some of the policy debates, but not nearly enough to want to go back.
That was my next question.
So I really enjoy this side. I get to use my advocacy tools and work for the world's largest trade association on behalf of businesses, large and all the way down to the small businesses that are operating everywhere in small town America, which I grew up in, as you know. Mm-hmm. So it gives me a chance still to play in DC politics, running our advocacy team, and leading a great group of folks, many of whom that used to work with me when I was in the House. And we've had some great wins working with the administration and Speaker Johnson, who I was just with the last couple of days, and his majority on the One Big Beautiful Bill. Small businesses are the biggest winners out of the One Big Beautiful Bill to make sure that they didn't have their taxes raised at the highest level in American history.
So you're not looking to jump back into politics from a campaign standpoint, maybe a statewide office or anything. Not in the future here for Rodney Davis.
No, and not just because you just sold me out on Nickelback earlier.
It's coming. We got it right now. We can start playing it right now. Man, I'll play Nickelback on my show all the time. If you run for governor, I would be so happy to vote for you for governor of the state of Illinois. I hope we get some good candidates, and I know that you're working very hard in the capacity you are right now. And I do miss you as my representative, Rodney Davis. I wish you were still there.
Wow, thank you, Annie. I appreciate you. Let me know whenever I can come back on and harass you guys.
Yeah, anytime, honestly. We got a lot of time for that. All right, here's your Nickelback, former Representative Rodney Davis, now the head of government affairs at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, our friend here on the Annie Frey Show. Rodney, what a wonderful opportunity to speak to you again. Thanks for being with us.
Take care. Thanks.
Yep, you as well. Bye-bye. All right. I guess no Governor Davis.
Well, we'll see.
Maybe we just
keep working on it.
I just want J.B. Pritzker gone so bad. I'd even vote for you, Ryan Wiggins.
Really?
I don't know.
Pretty bad.
We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Rockstars are living hilltop bosses driving 15 cars. The girls come easy and the come cheap. Well, I'll stay skinny as we just...
Home Shield Foundation Repairs. That, if you go to homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com, that's the website, and you can learn about how they use polyjacking, this really smart system to even out that concrete at your home that has cracked, separated, and now it is unlevel. It's a danger. It's ugly, but you're tripping on it. Somebody could get hurt with it. You need to get the problem solved. That's when you call 314-227-9636. 314-227-9636. You're going to reach Matt Hayes. You're going to reach Home Shield Foundation Repair, and they'll come out and assess your situation. They'll help you know what you need to do, what your options are, and also, of course, how they can help you. That polyjacking will come with a 5-year warranty to make sure that the project is done right. And you can trust the people at Home Shield Foundation Repair. They're St. Louis folks. They're local. They're a family-owned business. And when you give them a call at 314-227-9636, you can trust you're in good hands. Find them online at homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid residents in need of care at home. If you need assistance with daily activities, you can receive in-home care from a loved one that lives with you and they get paid. Through Medicaid, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care at home in St. Louis, and they get paid weekly. Available to eligible Medicaid members in St. Louis. Call now to check your eligibility. It can be your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid. Freedom Care has over 7,000 five-star Google reviews and is a leading choice in St. Louis for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want to receive great care from a loved one, go to freedomcare.com, or for faster service, call 314-597-1749. 314-597-1749. That's 314-597-1749.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2025 with the Turtles, Jay and the Americans, Little Anthony, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, the Vogues, and the Cowsills. August 21st, the Family Arena. Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Get ready for BTO live in concert. Bachman Turner Overdrive with special guests April Wine and Zebra. Roll on down the Highway 2025 tour. Saturday, August 30th, the Family Arena, a night of vintage BTO. Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Don't miss Bachman Turner Overdrive.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Now, back to the Annie Fry Show. Real talk for real people. 97.1 FM Talk.
Benefits, we've already kicked nearly 275,000 illegal aliens off of the Social Security system. These are people, many of them have already left the country, and yet we were sending them checks all the time. And 275,000, and that number's now even larger than that, Frank. It's an unbelievable job.
275,000 illegal aliens on Social Security in this country, and the president there said from the Oval Office that some of them have left the country already, and we were still sending them checks.
We were told that that wasn't happening.
Were we?
Yeah, we were told that why would Republicans look into this? It doesn't happen. This is just a waste of time.
It's a waste of money.
Huge waste of money. Huge fraud.
How does that make you feel if you're somebody living on a fixed income right now to know that 275,000 people who are in this country illegally were receiving Social Security benefits, even to the point where they could have still been going to them after they were out of the country?
As somebody who is living on a low enough income that I would love to have extra income coming to me that apparently was just being blown out the door to illegal immigrants, I can tell you that it makes me very mad. And plus, I was paying for it. That's the other thing. It's not just that I wasn't receiving it.
You don't need
this
a check
is coming out of our pockets.
from the government. It's your check that funds the government.
Yes.
And maybe a little less would go a long way right now. Certainly. 275,000 illegal immigrants receiving Social Security benefits. This is the type of fraud, waste, and abuse that we can weed out. And the efforts of this administration in this regard, I haven't seen something that suggests differently yet. Bring it to my attention if I've missed it. They're fortifying Social Security. They're making it stronger. You're worried that he's going to hurt your benefits? They say, can the headline be now? Trump administration removes Social Security access for 275,000 people.
That's what it'll be. 270. I'd have to do the math to see how much money that's going to save. I'm sure we'll see a Doge report of that at some point. But you're right. That fortifies Social Security because now you have, just like if you're going to carry water in a bucket, if you got a hole in the bottom of it, you're not going to be able to carry water in it as easily.
Plug the hole,
and then everybody benefits.
We're going to speak with Gerri Willis here in 6 minutes or so with Fox Business, and I'm going to talk to her about Social Security, the strength of it, the weaknesses of it, the future of it. So I want to make sure that you keep it right here, and you can definitely ask your questions right now in the YouTube live chat if you so choose. If you have questions you'd like me to ask Gerri Willis. I want to pop into the YouTube live chat poll question for today, which you can vote on when you come to comment. How does a preventative increased police presence make you feel? Safer, anxious, avoidant, or no different? Do you have thoughts on this? Because a lot of the conversation that I hear coming out of lefties on the Washington, D.C. issue are like the visual of, the presence of the National Guard. People are like, are we talking about police or are we talking about us? I'm like, I don't care. Law enforcement.
This is a weird one for me because I'm kind of caught between safer and anxious.
Yeah. Like, oh, thank God you're here. And, oh, why are you here?
Yeah. Both at the same time.
In St. Louis, I think we have a bit of a comfortable understanding of the lack of police presence or the increased police presence. Right now, if you see a bunch of police officers at one time in St. Louis, something's going down.
Yeah, that's why the words make you feel are important.
And also preventative.
Because I would be telling myself if I saw that, oh, this is good. But the optics I'm feeling safe at the same time as I'm going, dang, it must be pretty bad,
The absence of them doesn't make you feel safe, though.
No.
The absence of seeing police downtown St. Louis, if the presence of them triggers in your mind like, oh gosh, why are they here? If you knew it was a preventative measure to flood the streets with law enforcement because the situation was so dire. And in St. Louis, it was dire enough for the state of Missouri to take over the St. Louis police force. They did that before Trump did that in D.C.
Yep.
It's hard to have a conversation about, like, I could easily ask you, oh, would you like Donald Trump to take over the law enforcement in St. Louis? It doesn't work that way because D.C. is a territory. It's not within a state. The Kehoe has done this in the state of Missouri because the blue cities can't handle law enforcement. And that's not even necessarily a fair statement. They could probably handle it. They choose not to. It's a choice. That's the real gross part about it. The actual abdication of the responsibility to protect the people within their jurisdiction is a choice.
Yeah. The really disgusting part about it is that we know for a fact that the people funding a lot of those campaigns, Kim Gardner is a big one. George Soros funded her campaign so that she would not prosecute crime. Why would you do that? Well, it's to create complete chaos. It is not to benefit anybody. It is actually to make people's lives worse for your own political gain so that they can say, like we said before, oh, now we gotta really, like, we're going to be the solution to this problem we created. Keep voting for us because we're going to fix the problem that we caused. And it's circular, and it just circles the toilet and goes straight down it. And it's so disgusting that there are people in the world that are willing to do that to citizens of our nation. Yes, they're in blue areas, but that they're picking them off because they're politically easy to get. Because we in the red areas won't vote for that, but they will. And so they're picking them off to try to make their lives worse for their own political gain.
Safer, anxious, avoidant, or no different. You still have to come up with a response. You're tugging back and forth between the two. So keep thinking on that. We'll get some responses from our listeners as well. Chris F. says, safer. Since the Mike Brown stuff, crime has been an issue. Police get their hands tied. No one backs them up. Biden administration made it even worse. And Officer Gary says, doesn't make me feel any different. I still rely on myself for protection. Officer Gary. All right, quick break here. When we come back, we're going to speak with Gerri Willis, Fox Business reporter, and we're going to discuss what Social Security is currently dealing with and how the president is working to solidify it for future. Gerri Willis next on the Annie Fry Show.
When last year's dress is just a little too tight, and anything I do is say that it'll be okay when I have a bad hair day. And if I change my
The Lutheran Elementary School Association, of course, you hear me talking about them as LISA, that's with an E. I want to encourage you to look into Lutheran schools in the area. They have 34 elementary Lutheran schools. They've got 4 high schools and one that is being built right now in Franklin County. It's going to open in fall of 2026. If you've been considering an alternative to public education for your kid, there is assistance that is available to you. You've heard us last January, our show raised $26,000 for the Annie Fry Show Scholarship to help provide area kids here in the bi-state region an opportunity to access a Lutheran education. They do, I want to make sure you understand that almost all the Lutheran schools around here provide special education, tuition assistance. They support IEPs and special needs. So please don't think that you don't qualify. If you're interested in an alternative to public education, I want you to check out the Lutheran Elementary School Association. That's called LISA with an E, and learn about the Lutheran school that might be near you. Go check them out. Take a tour. Tell them Annie sent you. You can learn everything you need to know about those area schools and how to get assistance as well at LISA with an E, lisastl.org.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Cutting through the spin. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We listened to the president from the Oval Office delivering his message marking the 90th anniversary of Social Security here in the United States, and also highlighting how they are eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse to make sure Social Security is fortified. He also made mention of 275,000 illegal immigrants who were discovered, and he even said in his comments, it's actually more now than that 275,000 number, who had been drawing Social Security benefits, even for some of them who had left the country. Let's talk a little bit about Social Security, what it is, where it's going, what needs to happen, with Fox Business reporter Gerri Willis. Gerri, thank you so much for coming back with us here today. It's a pleasure to have you.
Annie, great to be with you.
So I assume that you were able to listen to some of the president's remarks regarding Social Security.
I did hear a lot of it. And, we've been talking about this at Fox Business for a long, long time. Social Security, as you know, is in deep, deep trouble. There has to be some kind of solution for making this program more solvent so generations of Americans can enjoy it. I know the president was talking about illegal immigrants drawing on this. This is deeply concerning, and I know a lot of Americans share my concerns about that.
I would assume that that's got to be step one for the administration, is to clean up the system as it exists right now before they could then go to improve it in some way, shape, or form. What are your great concerns about the situation right now with Social Security?
Well, they are working on cleaning it up. It's funny, they've dramatically cut down on response times. One of the big problems, for example, with the IRS is that if you called in, you couldn't get anybody on the phone. That's not true with Social Security. They've really turned that around. So they're making improvements to the program. But the main problem, the big kahuna problem, is that in 7 years, the program runs out of money. And when I say that, hear me out here. It doesn't mean that your payments go away. What happens in 7 years is that the program, the Old Age and Survivors Insurance, those coffers will be empty. And when that happens, the law requires that benefit payments be limited to incoming revenues from payroll taxes. So it will be a right now kind of payment situation. There'll be no savings, right? What that will result in is a 24% across the board haircut for beneficiaries. That's a cut of $18,000 a year for the average dual earning couple. So you can see that we've got some issues, some problems. We don't have enough money to go around. We need to do something to stabilize the program. And the question is what?
Right.
What do you do?
Do you have thoughts? I mean, we were kind of talking off air. I think you and I have discussed the $1,000 checks to newborn babies that is being implemented, and compound interest and time is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Do you expect to see a solution to fix Social Security, or are you of the mind that Social Security in and of itself is not going to be enough? Other solutions are going to have to be implemented to supplement.
Well, I think, this is a legendary program that started after the Great Depression, and I feel like we could hear me out here, I think the fixes are not that hard. Right now, Senator Bill Cassidy has a program that he's trying to bring everybody on board with, Democrats and Republicans. What he wants the government to do is borrow a lot of money, $1.5 trillion, and invest that in the stock market, in American companies, and that will turn over. Long-term average for stock investing is 8 to 9% a year. You have years that aren't that good. You have years that are better, but on average, that's what happens. So his point is that you could grow a large cache of funds very, very quickly, and that could spin off enough capital to keep up the payments that we need to make. You could take care of 70 to 100%, he said, of the need for Social Security. Now, that's a big deal. And on the face of it, I have to tell you, this makes a lot of sense. And why? As you know, if you invest in a 401k out there, hello, people, put your hands up. The stock market is the biggest wealth generation machine in the world. And you don't have to make a lot of money to play. And if we put Social Security dollars in there, I think it would be a great thing. Understand, he's not even talking about putting payroll taxes in. He wants to borrow money and put it in there, and that could turn around some very big numbers. There's lots of questions about this. A lot of people don't like Wall Street getting involved. To manage the money, what would a huge cache of funds like this, what would be the impact on stock markets if we just suddenly dumped $1.5 trillion in markets? There are a lot of good questions about this. Other solutions out there, I know Bernie Sanders wants to see the cap on payroll tax contributions from wealthy people be removed, lift it entirely, have rich people pay more and more and more because they do benefit from the program. But as you know, the wealthy pay the vast majority of income taxes in this country.
Certainly.
And the burden is really on them for that. So, I mean, ultimately, I do believe if we had the will and the spine and weren't a bunch of weenies in Congress, we could get this done.
You should go to Congress, Gerri Willis. You need to smack some sense into these people. I like this attitude. It's fiery. What about the retirement age? I'm 41. As you said that, I pulled up my 401k. It's been fun. I check it all the time because I want to know. I know people suggest not doing that, but people always tell you when not to look at your 401k when things are bad. So I'm trying to get a little bit more of an understanding of the flow. It's doing very well. What should I, as a 41-year-old, expect as far as retirement age? Of course, it's inched back. People are talking about 70 years. Is 70 even the right number?
Well, I think that's a great question. It's hard to see from here. And I think for many people, it's really a personal answer. You know, I have a lot of friends who are in their 60s and want to work the rest of their life. I'm absolutely serious. And I think that what's going to happen with Social Security is that they will ultimately push out, they've already started doing this, push out the number at which you can tap it. I think that's likely. I think that's going to happen. 72, 75, 76, 77. You'll probably see something like that. But this is really about what you want and believe. And a friend of mine who's a very well-known personal finance writer believes that you should retire as early as you can because you never know how long you're going to be around. Sure. And you want to take advantage of your money. You want to do fun things while you're still healthy. So don't just work forever if you can avoid it, is his point, because he wants people to enjoy. You know, like you did a lot of work to put that 401k cash of funds together. You should enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that as well. You know, and other people can look at what they do. You retire from your career, but maybe you still make a little bit of an income doing something that you just love. You don't do it as much for the money, but to stay in the game. I think that there's going to have to be a different attitude going forward about what our later years look like, but Social Security might be a huge driver on it. Last question we have for you. We're speaking with Gerri Willis, Fox Business reporter, also author of Lincoln's Lady Spy Master. I encourage you to check that book out. Do you feel like the president's focus and speed with which he's working on the Social Security issue, is he handling this with the urgency that is needed?
Nobody ever handles this with the urgency that is needed. This is like the one, you know, I did one hit on Fox Business today about this topic. My inbox is full. People are really concerned and worried about Social Security and whether it will last. And it's like the third rail of politics. You touch it, you get electrocuted. I was watching Cassidy's, the senator, he, you know, put out this new program he wants to do. He talked about it on Twitter. He got slammed with negative tweets. People who I don't think they necessarily understood the program. This is something that people really worry about and that we should be serious enough to solve. And by the way, Lincoln's Lady Spy Master is my beyond retirement writing history, is my plan for that.
Yeah.
My, you know, not 100% employed, but doing fun things.
Yeah, and maybe making $1 along the way as well.
There you go.
Gerri Willis, a pleasure to have you. Please come back soon. We always appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye, Annie.
Take care. Bye-bye. Fox Business reporter Gerri Willis. Go check her out on her website, Gerri, Gerri, Willis.com, and follow her on X, Gerri Willis FBN. That's Fox Business Network. She said Congress needs to stop being weenies.
I like that.
I'm all over that energy. That is.
She also said, "You touch it, you get electrocuted."
Yeah,
and that
rail.
is a fact. Mm-hmm. They have got to come up with a way, and I hate that it has to be this way. They have to come up with a way, Republicans do, because they're the only ones addressing this right now, to message this to Democrat America and Democrat politicians to say, please, let's get together and save Social Security. It can be called Social Security. It can be called something else. How do we fix this problem instead of you just yelling about it?
That's one way. Try to bring some Democrats across. The other way is to kick butt and take names so much right now while Donald Trump is doing the first thing that the midterms go so wildly your way next year that you don't need to persuade Democrats to act in a common sense way. President Trump said this, I believe it was yesterday, while he was speaking at the Kennedy Center. He was talking about how people were like, are you going to invite the Democrats to the Oval Office to discuss, I don't even remember what the issue was. It doesn't matter. He goes, yeah, I'll invite them. It's not going to matter. They can come, but they're not going to agree on anything. They won't work on anything with me. He goes, they can come. We can have the meeting. It'll be a waste of time, but we can do it. He's completely open to having Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer come sit in an office and try to work on a solution. He's not saying it's useless, so I'm not even going to try. He's like, happy to try. Still not going to work. And then he said, the number in my head is 50. I think he said like 56% of them. He threw out some number there. He's like, most of them are common sense people. Most of the Democrats are good people, but they're not the ones who are leading the party. And I just thought to myself, good grief, well, can everybody stop for a second and listen to Donald Trump talk in a really normal, rational way? Like, nobody hears those clips. Nobody hears The president saying, let's talk. The guy is talking with Vladimir Putin in Alaska tomorrow. You think he wouldn't talk to the Democrats in Washington, D.C.? He lifts sanctions off Syria. He pushes Iran to say, make a deal. Get with the program. Let's figure this out. And they're like, no. And he's like, okay. Plan B.
He said in that same press conference or whatever it was he was speaking, I think it was at the Kennedy Center. That's where it was.
That's what I
when
said,
he was talking
buddy.
about that. Oh, sorry.
I said that at the beginning.
Hey, I came to the right conclusion then.
Yeah, you can listen to it on the podcast.
I'm looking forward to that at 1.5 speed. He said in that clip, they're trapped.
Yeah.
He said they've trapped themselves, essentially. He didn't go into detail, but that they through their rhetoric,
They can't work with Trump.
Talk to him at all. So he's like, look, I'm willing to sit down, but they can't do it at this point based on what they've said about me.
The best shot, and I don't even want to say this out loud on this show. They're not. I don't think that the Democrat leadership is listening to the show, but on the off chance that they are, the best shot you have at competing in 2028 is to get 20 Democrats in Congress who represent purple districts to come together on important issues, the 80-20 issues, whatever they are, and to say, this guy is getting some things done, and I can agree with him on here, and I am going to release myself from the chains of the Democrat Party leadership, and I'm going to actually represent the people in my district, and I'm going to get this stuff done. Fetterman has done it, and he knows that he's in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania voted for Trump. The Pennsylvanians that he represents also support President Trump. If you want to have some semblance of common sense represented on the left side of the ticket in 2028, you're going to have to prove that the party is willing to back that up and get stuff done. There is no better example than RFK Jr., who said, we disagree on a lot, and we agree to not talk about those things, but we agree on certain things, and we can get stuff done on those certain things. And we've decided for the American people in the future of this country that we're going to work on together what we can work on. That's the energy that the Democrat Party needs, and the amount of success that the Republicans could have if you could have just 15 Democrats. There are 15 Democrats that probably agree with a lot of what Donald Trump, just in the quietness of their own personal lives, they are annoyed that Donald Trump is winning on the things that they wish they could attach themselves to, and they can't.
I'm glad you said Fetterman, because that's what they need. They need a handful of Democrat senators to overcome the filibuster, because they can do it in the House. They need a handful of Democrat senators who are willing to step up and say, I will save Social Security.
Way less likely in the Senate.
Or whatever. But they can do it in the House because they have the majority. But they need a few in the Senate.
Well, no, I'm not talking about right now. I'm talking about 2028. I'm talking about the future of the Democrat Party. If they want to compete in 2028, if they want to run somebody against J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio or Tulsi Gabbard or Sarah Huckabee Sanders or whomever it might be in that position, they are going to have to show that while the opportunity existed to support the things that Americans voted for and are common sense things, that they were willing to set aside partisan issues and work for the American people on a few common sense things. And Fetterman is a great example of being like, no, we absolutely are allied with Israel, and why would we not act as such? If they don't show up and do something to help some of these obvious things get across the finish line, I don't think that they can win in 2028. And hopefully they don't do that before 2026, and we can wallop them in the midterms, and then we don't need them. All right, quick break. When we come back, cancel culture. Matt Rife, you big Matt Rife fan? He seems totally up your alley.
I have no idea who that is.
Yes, you do. You just don't know it. You know his face.
Okay.
Brad, you big Matt Rife fan?
I wouldn't say a big Matt Rife fan, but I laugh whenever I see some of his stuff.
Oh, my gosh. I can't stand him. Let's take a quick break. He might be being canceled. We'll determine when we come back if he deserves it. We'll be right back. Michael's Flooring Outlet is online at igotfloored.com. I want you to consider supporting Michael's Flooring Outlet. They've certainly been great supporters of ours here on 97.1 for incredibly long decades. They've been in the St. Louis area as a family-owned and operated business for over 3 decades. They know how to marry quality with value. They know how to get to know you Get to know your project that you're trying to renovate in your home, even if it's a commercial business. You're trying to get rid of that carpet that you have in your office and put down something that's a lot easier to maintain. They understand it. They've been through all of it. They carry the top brands that you care about, the Techwood Plus line, the Mohawk line of flooring. All of this they have at their fingertips, and they just want to meet you and get to know what you're looking for so that they can help you be yet another very satisfied Michael's Flooring Outlet customer. When you go online to igotfloor.com, you can request an estimate right there at the top of the page. You can also read reviews from actual customers who have recently shopped at Michael's Flooring Outlet. It's online at igotfloor.com.
Scott Jennings here. I'm excited to be part of the St. Louis conservative conversation, cutting through the noise with unfiltered common sense. Catch the Scott Jennings Show weekdays at 8 p.m. starting August 25th on 97.1 FM Talk.
You've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine, and you could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt, but you can't touch it unless you sell your home. But you really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market for a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Well, not with TrueHold. With TrueHold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. And listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. So that's TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. You cash out your entire home's value and stay put. TrueHold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. So imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt and stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. You get an all-cash offer now by calling 1-855-300-9993. You can also visit TrueHold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
Imagine this, a summer evening, relaxing under a beautiful porch overhang, hosting your friends on a composite deck, or enjoying a bug-free breeze in a screened room. That sounds dreamy, right? Hi, it's Kim, and that dream can be your reality with Lakeside Renovation and Design because they specialize in creating outdoor spaces that make your backyard the go-to spot for family and friends. And with their attention to detail and the high-quality materials they use, you'll have a space that lasts for years. Visit lakesiderd.com today to get started on your outdoor oasis.
That baby's gone!
Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your home of the Cardinals.
That ball was mashed.
And there are more ways to watch this season.
Holy cow!
Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Cardinals without blackouts.
How about that play?
Or watch through a TV provider.
Incredible!
Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more.
He got it!
Learn more at cardinals.com/TV.
Ball game! It couldn't have worked out any better for the Cardinals.
Big news for gun owners. Mark Cox here for the Range St. Louis West. You know, the big, beautiful bill eliminates the $200 tax stamp on suppressors next January, but the Range is celebrating right now. They're holding a sweepstakes for a new suppressor at the Range. The Range will give you a $300 credit toward the new suppressor, and they'll pay for the tax stamp. Suppressors protect your hearing, and they improve your accuracy. Sign up to win at therangestl.com/971 before August 15th.
I'm Ultima Morgan. Every year, almost 30,000 babies in America are born with birth injuries. It's every parent's worst nightmare. If your child suffered a birth injury, please call our firm to find out if we can help.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Rascal Flatts is coming to Enterprise Center on January 17th, 2026, and now is your time to call and win free tickets. If you are I like basing it on the date. So we're going to do the 2,226th caller. Yeah, ready, Ethan? He just gave me a very, very nasty gesture. How about we do the 12th caller right now at 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797.
What number?
The 12th caller will win tickets to see Rascal Flatts, Enterprise Center, January 17th. It is 1:53. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Family focused, faith filled, always on point. It's the Annie Fry Show.
Okay, so you said that you don't know who Matt Rife is. Did you Google him on the break?
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. Brad says he likes some of the stuff that he does. Here, I got a picture of him up there on the YouTube live chat. Recognize that guy?
No.
Really?
No, I don't know who that is.
Oh gosh,
Man.
How do you? I'm envious.
Because I've avoided him?
Brad, why do you like him?
I don't know that I like him. I just know that sometimes his stuff comes across my feed and it's funny and I laugh.
Okay, well that's basically comedy.
I don't go like ooh, Matt Rife, got to go seek that out. No, it's fed to me whenever I get on one of those comedy
I thought he
rabbit
was
holes.
really, really big in like millennial women circles. So
Mhm.
there's a big interest in him, but mostly that's because of his face. But I think he's prettier than most women, so I'm not really interested in that. Comedian, and he knows that. He talks about it all the time in his comedy. I just think he's kind of filthy. Comedian Matt Rife's new Elf makeup ad. Elf is eyes, lips, face. Did you know that? And his new makeup ad becomes latest celebrity ad, generating outrage online. So it's funny when you get into this story here because it's kind of like it takes some wild turns here. Fox News reports that the new ad for the cosmetics brand Elf is the latest celebrity starring commercial that has caused social media users to melt down. The makeup brand published their ad online on Tuesday, featuring Rife and drag queen Heidi in Closet. Heidi in Closet, portraying lawyers in a spoof legal commercial promoting inexpensive Elf cosmetic products. I need an extra minute or two here, Brad, if you can. So people are mad about this ad. It's not for what you think. You're sitting here going, oh, he's using drag queens? No, that's not it. In 2023, Rife made a joke about domestic violence. And people are commenting on the ad, and they're saying, I thought you guys were cruelty-free. So because Rife made a domestic violence joke in 2023, they're mad that he's a part of this ad campaign. Fox News says these and similar comments reflected a renewed backlash against the comedian for joking about a woman who had a black eye during his 2023 special, quote, Natural Selection. In the set, Rife told the story of eating at a Baltimore restaurant with a friend when they noticed their female server had a black eye. They questioned why the restaurant owners wouldn't have the employee work in the kitchen to avoid customers asking questions. Rife joked, yeah, but I feel like if she could cook, she wouldn't have a black eye. That's the joke.
Okay.
That was a 2023 joke that he made. Does that negate Matt Rife, who is very, very wildly successful, mostly due to his understanding of how to use social media to highlight? He does a lot of comedy that brings in the crowd, a lot of like in-person, conversational, off-the-cuff comedy. Is that a cancelable joke? It's very crass. It's very crude.
No. In fact, I would ask anybody. The trouble is a lot of these people online, they're just bots and stuff. But if you're a real person and you decide, I think I'm with the cancel culture on this, I don't want that man to ever be a part of capitalist society ever again.
Says you know? Like, why do people get to say that?
Ask yourself, have you ever said anything that could get you canceled? Because 100% of the people that you would ask that question, they all have said something that would get them canceled in their life.
The other thing that is ridiculous to me is this is, in my opinion, not nearly the most offensive thing that Matt Rife has said. He's grossly crude. His jokes are wildly sexist, but that's his thing. Like, if he were here, he'd be like, yeah, that's what I'd do. Just don't buy the Elf cosmetics and go find something that makes you happy. I don't think that these people are saving domestic violence abuse
No,
victims.
of course they're not.
With their actions. Let us know what you think. We'll be right back.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
Protect yourself by shopping at STS Armory. If you don't have a firearm right now, if you are thinking about using a firearm or being able to feel comfortable utilizing a firearm, you want to make sure that STS Armory, that they know your name, because you could start from scratch at STS Armory. You could not know anything about FOID cards in the state of Illinois at STS Armory, and they are going to love getting to know you. They're going to love helping you get to the place where you feel very responsible, very comfortable with being able to use, to operate, to store safely and responsibly that firearm. There is a new law that just came out, and it has to do with the storage of your firearm in your home. And if you want to know more about these things, of course, STS Armory, they're always going to be at the forefront of this type of knowledge. So if you're thinking about needing to up the storage and the safety and security of your firearm in your home, I've bought safety devices and security boxes from STS Armory. Give them a call. Tell them Annie sent you. STS-armory.com.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
He wants to set the table. Elisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump hoping his meeting with Russia's President Putin tomorrow in Alaska will lead quickly to another meeting with Ukraine's President Zelensky.
I'd like to see it actually happen maybe in Alaska, where we just stay because it's so much easier. But I think that it's going to be very interesting. We're going to find out where everybody stands.
He says a bad meeting with Putin would end very quickly, but a good meeting will lead to peace. The president has warned of severe consequences if Putin does not move toward ending the war after previously threatening sanctions on Russia and its trading partners. The Pentagon just confirming that all 800 National Guard members mobilized as part of a federal crackdown on crime in D.C. are now in the Capitol to assist D.C. police. Democrats have accused President Trump of an authoritarian move.
The biggest issue right now, and an issue that's really taken hold, is crime, stopping crime in the cities, and the Democrats are fighting the stopping of crime.
The White House says 45 arrests were made last night.
Those arrested included people that were facing charges for assault, distribution of a controlled substance, as well as intent to distribute cocaine. A number of illegal immigrants, more than 24, were also arrested.
Fox's Mark Meredith at the White House. Meantime, the police chief of Washington, D.C. issuing an executive order aimed at increasing cooperation between local officers and federal immigration agents. The U.S. Supreme Court is refusing to block enforcement of a Mississippi law that requires social media users to verify their ages, aimed at regulating use by children. The justice is rejecting an emergency appeal from a tech industry group, which argues the law threatens privacy rights and is unconstitutional, restricting the free expression of all users. That same group is challenging similar laws passed in other states. America is listening to Fox News.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
We can handle the weather this afternoon. It's not too bad for the middle of August. Partly sunny skies and 89 for the high. Clear skies 71 for the overnight low tonight. Friday, the beast of summer comes knocking again. Sunny, back to hot and humid Friday afternoon, 95. Over the weekend, sunny, hot and humid each day, about 97. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Time to schedule your air conditioner service. Get not just your AC, but your entire HVAC system checked for $19 a month with the preferred partner plan, and stay cool this summer. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
A lot of reports coming out of Washington, D.C. after Donald Trump has, invoked home rule or whatever it's called. And you see essentially a military presence around Washington, D.C. Have you been to Washington, D.C., Ryan? Have you been lately?
No, I was there for like half a day once.
If you were there and you were like, I want to go see Lincoln at the Lincoln Memorial, and there were fatigued people walking around, and you'd never been there before, would that, what?
It took me a second to realize you
Fatigued.
meant people in fatigues, not fatigued people. Okay. All right.
Maybe both.
Like they're walking around tired? Oh, where's
I
this going?
guarantee you they're walking around tired.
Okay.
Would you even notice that? Like if you said you haven't been there, you haven't, or you haven't been for a long time?
I was there like on a Passover. I was
Passover?
there on Passover. So you can imagine it was a different experience. No, I was there for half a day. We were just staying there for like lunch and then we were leaving.
So you didn't tour it?
No.
You're walking around the Washington Monument, and then you're walking to the World War II Memorial, and then you're like, oh, let's go see the Vietnam Memorial, and then you're going to the Korean Memorial, and then you're going to go hang out with Abe. It's a lot of walking.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Soldiers walking around, people in fatigues walking around.
Okay.
Are you like, this is making me kind of nervous?
I don't think there especially.
I think in Washington, D.C., I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, it seems like that. I would almost kind of expect to see that. I've never really been there, so I would know. But.
They have Secret Service like swarming the city all the time. If the president is going to leave the White House or return to the White House, the Secret Service is swarming in helicopters leading up to the point where the president actually is transported from maybe Joint Andrews or something like that. So you just see these people out all the time. And when I went with my son for the 8th grade trip, that would have been 2 years ago. So that was still Joe Biden as the president. I was trying to think because there were people wearing Trump stuff all over the place, but it was still the election. And then when I went back with my husband last year, same kind of thing. And then when I went this spring, President Trump was the president. I don't feel like there was any sort of significant difference in my experience over those 3 times that I took in about a year's worth of time. But I assume if you went today that you would notice an extra visual of law enforcement. And I also think that I would go, okay, this is every time I go to Washington, D.C., I'm always thinking to myself, gosh, I hope this isn't the time where like the Independence Day movie comes to fruition and the aliens of all the places they want to strike, the White House is one of them. Like I just go to Washington, D.C. and I think this place is more of a target than the normal places that I run in circles.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't there be a military presence? Doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, not having toured all the sites, we just kind of drove through. I would expect to see a lot more security all the time. So I'm not sure that if I went right now, I would think anything of it.
No, I don't think tourists would. Now, if you're somebody who's there and you're in Congress, or you work with the people in Congress, and an intern of a congressman has recently been murdered by a stray bullet, would you be like, I just really don't feel comfortable with all this law enforcement around me?
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Do you know who's made to feel uncomfortable when law enforcement's all over the place? Criminals.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah, as long as you have righteous law enforcement, which we do in this country. If you live in a dictatorship, then yeah, law enforcement is not there to protect you. They're there to protect the dictatorship.
The YouTube live chat poll for today is, how does a preventative increased police presence make you feel? Safer, anxious, avoidant, or no different? If they're there or if they're not there, there's no different. I just peeked at the results, and I am shocked at the response right now so far. Because watching a lot of I said this before and somebody called me out. They're like, it's not just the lefties, but I don't know what they're talking about. I'm just going to say it again. Watching the lefties melt down over the fact that there are people out there patrolling the streets of Washington, D.C., I'm like, what are you worried about? Like, if you're not doing anything wrong and they're not accosting you and they're not, if they see crime and they're going to address it, then good. It's deterrent as much as it is anything else, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, for sure. That's probably the main reason that it's there, or the main effect it'll have.
Here's an additional question. Judge Jeanine Pirro, gosh, do we have to stop? Is she still Judge Jeanine?
No.
I mean,
she's U.S. Attorney Jeanine
But
Pirro.
is that what she is also?
I think her new ranking outranks judge, so you'd use the higher one.
I understand that her current title might be different, but isn't she still Judge Jeanine?
I mean, in our hearts.
When she was on the 5, I don't think she was like gaveling in.
No, but you always use somebody's former title.
Or whatever they wanted to name their show with alliteration. They're talking a lot about the youth that are running amok. It's the Hocus Pocus. Running, like, creating total chaos in Washington, D.C. And there are stories about how the gangs in that area utilize minors because they don't get in trouble. They're people who are like committing murder and not serving jail time. They're getting probation because they're kids. Listen to the left right now talk about defending the children. These are children. Minors are minors. You're suggesting that maybe they're not 100% aware of the repercussions of their actions. You're suggesting that somehow or another their youth is making them not in a position to take full responsibility of their actions. Well, why the hell are you allowing them to cut off their body parts and change their entire biology for the rest of their entire life? Are they capable of making said decisions or are they not? Because you can't just will it to be politically advantageous to you in one point because you want them to be able to murder people in the streets, but you also you want them to be able to be free to do that, but you also don't want to say, maybe kids shouldn't be making this lifelong decision for their bodies because they might not understand what they're doing. You don't get to have it both ways, at least not here.
It's funny because the people I was talking about earlier, the people funding the Soroses that are funding crime, essentially, or the lack of prosecution of crime, whatever you want to call it. I'm not talking about those people, but your average Republican, average Democrat, the average Republican says, look, we have too much crime. We have to deal with deterring crime. The average Democrat goes, well, why do we have so much crime? Let's deal with the root cause of crime. But and I'm speaking to these people because I think there are people with their heart in the right place who are saying, well, we don't want to make career criminals out of people. How do we rehab those? How do we get them out of that cycle?
Not by letting them off the hook.
But in doing so, when you control policy, when you're on the left, look at what you've done in the areas you control. You've created incentive to continue in crime without ever being rehabbed. So the way you're going about it, you need to have some principles here where you say, we have to
what?
Oh, what did I hit? What word did I say?
Who do you want to have principles?
Democrats.
Go on.
My fault for assuming. But I think there are people who would listen to that and say, you know what? It's true. I do focus on the root of crime, and I want to solve it. I want social workers and all that stuff. But you got to remember, you have to, in doing so, maybe you do want to still do that. You still have to deter crime, though. You can't just allow it in the name of rehab. You've let your cities fall off the face of the map because of it.
Blue city after blue city after blue city after Blue City. Marie Harf was making an absolute fool of herself on Outnumbered earlier today, trying to say that blue cities, she didn't refer to them as blue cities. She was talking about like St. Louis specifically was a topic of conversation on Outnumbered. And they're like, red state. You got this problems in red states. And I'm like, lady, the blue city couldn't handle the law enforcement situation because, as we mentioned earlier, George Soros funded Kim Gardner was there to not prosecute crime. So then the cardinal sin of all of this is people commit crimes. Police officers risk their lives to get the bad guys, and then the bad guys get off with no bail, get off with cashless bail, get off with no, like maybe probation, maybe an ankle monitor or something, and then they get let out and they do the same thing over and over again, to the point where we have anecdote after anecdote after anecdote from our local law enforcement about how the people who would be arrested would mock those who were doing the arresting, like, wow, what a waste of time this is for you. I'm going to be out tomorrow. I'm not even worried about this. They would mock them. So then you have police officers risking their lives to be mocked by the bad guys that they're trying to arrest and get off the streets so that St. Louis can be a safe place to live. And the blue city politics ruin the whole thing for everybody except for the criminals because they know that they're safe here. It is a sanctuary city in the city of St. Louis for crime and for criminals. And the people who are being put into danger are the best of us. Those people who wear the uniform, who risk their lives to try to keep it safe. And I hear this from police officers who I know in the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department who go out and are arresting kids all the time who have wildly illegal guns. And they're on the street. Some of them aren't even guns. They're just like Glocks. But they're illegal for them to possess. If only St. Louis had some strict gun laws that they could enforce. And then these youth who are running around like crazy would go, I can't have that gun. That's illegal. It's so dumb. It's so moronic. And you really have to ask yourself, to what you were saying about Democrats needing to get some principles here. What is their principle? What is it that the Democrat Party, the progressives that put the Kim Gardners into the world, what are they investing in? What is the goal?
They invest in things that look like rehab.
But that's not even part of the conversation.
But it's not working.
I mean, it's not even like a political goal that you can run on. To me, I think the actual inevitable pursued goal here is just chaos. Because chaos breeds fear. And I think that the left, the crazy left in this country, and I'll go back to what Donald Trump said, yes, at the Kennedy Center yesterday, that he thinks that the majority of the Democrats in Congress are reasonable people. I agree with that. I think they are. I think we differ on a lot of policy issues, but I think most people are reasonable people. You sow chaos in the streets of these blue cities and certainly in the blue states, like the one I live in right now in the state of Illinois, you sow chaos, people become fearful. And people react differently when it's being based and rooted in emotion and specifically fear. I think the Democrats truly feel, and this has been evident for the last 15 years of politics, longer than that, near 20 years of politics. The only thing that Democrats have to offer the American people is fear that they can monetize for their own power. And that is evident in every campaign that we've seen the Democrats run through since Barack Obama, rooted in emotion with zero policies to stand on, zero workable policies that they've been able to implement. They've gotten us into war. They've gotten people in our streets killed. The amount of unborn that they have murdered over the course of these years is innumerable. They've got nothing in the policy department to run on, and all they want to peddle to you is fear. And they want to define your emotion so that they can also define the enemy, the villain, and they've pinned it on Republicans for long enough with their made-up hoaxes and their bullcrap stories that they've tried to put out there in a lapdog media, and it worked for a while, but it just feels like there's a shift in the winds instead of a shift in the wind, which maybe he is also right now.
It's like that Elton John song.
That's what I was thinking. Norma Jean?
An Adam Schiff in the wind. yeah, Norma Jean. Alligator Rock. Crocodile Rock. Alligator Rock.
Ethan, sports and local next on the Annie Fry Show. Don't go away. TheDiamondShop.net. Hurry up and get onto the website, TheDiamondShop.net. Become a VIP. You know you want to. You can save an extra 10% on the best deals that they have going right now at the Diamond Shop. Let's see here. It's August 14th today, and the summer clearance and estate sale goes through August 16th. So hustle it up. Red tag clearance up to 70% off right now, and you can tack on an additional 10% when you do become VIP. You also can save 50% off all estate pieces at the Diamond Shop. They're located in Clayton. Go see these people. They're amazing. If you're looking for something that might not be on a clearance sale or an estate piece, if you're looking to create something, Tom is so magnificent, so creative, and so skilled at what he does. When you go to the Diamond Shop, you start the conversation. You got something in your mind that you haven't seen in reality yet. Tom's the right guy. You go see him. Like I said, wonderful people, incredibly skilled, kind, and respectful. So you're going to walk in and you're going to feel like $1 million when you walk out. Become a VIP, save an extra 10% at the Diamond Shop. You can shop in store in Clayton, online at thediamondshop.net.
If it's time for new windows, there's only one place to call. That is Window World. Mark Cox here. Call my friends at Window World at 314-993-1800 for your free estimate today. If you have any questions, they'll be glad to send someone out to explain all of it to you. You can even schedule right online at windowworldstl.com. You know, there's a lot of high-interest financing out there, but here's what Window World's doing. Right now, they're offering 18 up to 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. You can't beat that. You also get a lifetime warranty that covers all of the parts, the glass breakage, and labor. Who else stands behind their product like that? Over half the appointments Window World will set this year are from previous customers or referrals from those customers. That is a testimony to their customer service, their quality, and their commitment to creating loyal customers. That's what you get with Window World. Call them at 314-993-1800, windowworldstl.com. What's the most important thing when it comes to getting your roof replaced? Honesty, because honestly, most of us don't know what it takes to replace a roof. Mark Cox here from my friends at Correll Roofing Company. Curtis Correll is a friend of mine. I've known him for many years. And when he came to my house to look at my roof, he brought back pictures and showed me where the damage was from the hail. He worked with my insurance adjuster. He made sure I understood exactly what they would be replacing on my roof. Are they putting down felt? Are they replacing any wood? What quality of shingle are you getting on your roof? These are all questions most of us don't know to ask, so you need to be able to trust the person who is doing the work for you. You can trust Curtis Correll. He's got crews with over 20 years of experience. He pays attention to detail with quality materials and workmanship. Call him at 314-222-9529. That's 314-222-9529 or Correll Roofing Co. on Facebook.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range. It's the Annie Fry Show.
Hold up. Check it out.
Sports and local.
Gandalf's Gloob Butter.
Hi, Ethan.
You should have come in earlier.
Since when are we playing those right at the beginning?
We do what Steve tells us all the time.
Our boss said that sounds better.
Yeah. Let us know what you think in the YouTube comments. He'll love that I said that.
Also say that you hate it so we get a bunch of feedback and take it back to us.
We're screwed.
Look what the listeners said.
We're just trying to be professionals, Ethan.
That's great and all.
Follow our lead.
What did it say, though?
Don't worry about it.
Gandalf's Gloob Butter.
Stop it. No, it didn't.
Also not from the listeners. You know how I can tell?
Because it was stupid.
Sports and local, what do you got for us? You want to talk about the Cardinals?
Do I have to?
No.
Guess I'll start with that. The Cardinals, a couple of weeks ago, we talked a little bit about how the Cardinals lost a series against the Colorado Rockies, who are on pace to finish with the worst record in baseball history.
Yes, we did.
And then it happened again at home. The Cardinals finished the year winning 2 out of 6 games against the Colorado Rockies.
So 6 of the 30 wins possible?
No, 4.
Against the Cardinals?
4.
Of their 32 wins.
No, 4.
4 of them.
That's right.
Came against the Cardinals. You do the math.
That's so terrible.
Is that so bad?
Well, you know what? The Cardinals are a historical franchise, and being a part of history
That's what they
is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, last year, the Chicago White Sox came to town, and we lost a series against them, and the White Sox ended up breaking the record and having the worst record in baseball history. So, you know, this is back-to-back years that the Cardinals are on pace to do this, to lose a season series against the worst
Anything
teams
else
in baseball history.
You want to say about the Cardinals?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, moving on.
All right. An Illinois bill could change harm reduction strategies across the state to help those addicted to opioids. Yesterday, Annie, I said to you, you asked me, hey, you have any more stories? I was like, I kind of want to save this one for tomorrow because I feel like it might interest you. I hope it does, because then it's going to be awkward if it doesn't. The proposal would change homeless shelter rules. Any shelter that receives state funds in Illinois would not be able to kick somebody out on the sole basis of a drug sobriety rule. Most homeless shelters up north, this says specifically in Peoria, have a sobriety or drug abstinence rule. State Representative Lindsay LaPointe, who is championing this bill, said Illinois needs to move away from further criminalizing people with opioid addiction disorder. Drug use, misuse, addiction, it is a health issue, the Chicago Democrat said. It's a health issue, and it requires a health care approach. And in fact, that's what the research and the data shows.
Brian?
This is literally what I was just talking about. I didn't even know he was bringing this story in. But it's incentivizing no behavioral change. We're going to give you everything, and we require nothing of you. That sounds nice. When you read it that way, when you phrase it
It's
like...
normalizing this type of behavior.
Yes,
this behavior has to still be looked at as abhorrent behavior, as deviant behavior. And boy, does it sound really bad to be like, gosh, if you're hooked on opioids... That's very deviant of you. It is.
Yes, it is.
It's deviant. And yeah, you need help. You need help. But are there people in that homeless shelter who need help and they're not hooked on drugs? Are there people in that homeless shelter who are now in danger because they're in there with a person who is strung out? I'm not an expert on opioid abuse. I don't know what that turns you into. But you're exactly right, Ryan. We can't normalize this as it's like basically what they're saying here is it's an identity.
And they're subsidizing that identity. We want to keep you in that identity. You don't have unlimited resources. Guess what, government? You're going to run out at some point.
Yeah, if you have funny money, if it never runs out, then you're like, oh, we could do that. We could give that a try. What would it hurt? What's it cost?
It subsidizes bad programs because there's no accountability. Right now, what we have is a situation where they're trying to pass a law that says we want to keep people addicted to drugs as long as we can.
Do you remember like San Francisco's of the world, maybe like Portland, those types of places? Remember when they were like safe injection sites? New York City certainly was one of them. They provided needles. They provide the clean materials so that you could safely get high. That's absolutely it is abhorrent. It is not how you build a civilized society. It's not how I don't want my kids walking around in some city, in some neighborhood. We used to go to Peoria every year for a volleyball tournament. I don't want my kids to be walking around in Peoria when that type of behavior is acceptable behavior.
Oh, it's destroyed neighborhoods in California too. They say the people who live around those sites, those like clean drug sites, because they're well funded. They have a lot of money, so they kind of look nice. They keep them up. So you'd think, oh, they're putting a lot of money into this place. That's nice. But it's such an attraction. It's a magnet for drug use. So you bring in everybody who does drugs to this one spot in this one block. So if you live around there, you're like, my street is now completely infested with crackheads. And it's government funded.
It's a collapse of civilized society. And there's only one political side of the aisle that's interested in thrusting that forward.
Yes.
It's terrible. All right. Thanks, Ethan.
In Peoria,
Thanks,
a harm reduction nonprofit organization named Jolt helps people in the community who use opioids, hear this, or suffer from the addiction. They hand out clean syringes and naloxone an opioid antagonist that, if given to someone dying of an overdose, could save their life.
I think it's like Narcan. Is it naloxone? Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
There's a big discussion going on right now about some people on social media who are packing their kids up for college, and they're packing Narcan.
Wow.
That's
do they know their kids do drugs? Or
No,
they think
they want their
might?
kids to, if they're, I think the thought is that you don't really, A, know what your kid's going to get involved in, but B, your kid could be around other people who could be making bad decisions. But having Narcan on hand saves lots of lives. All of this degradation of our culture has all come out of the far progressive left.
Yeah, it has.
The proposal would also change how the correctional system supports those with opioid addiction. It would require prison and jail staff to have naloxone readily available. It would also require correctional facilities to give out opioid use disorder medication. Since the plan was introduced late in the spring session, it was never brought to a committee. LaPointe hopes she can continue discussions over this year to get a vote on the bill by next spring's session.
Is it? I mean, it's not a bipartisan agreeable thing to say that we should pursue a society where we don't have drug use.
I don't even think half of America believes that's possible anymore.
Well, I mean, yeah, but in a fictional fantasy land.
It should be bipartisan.
It should, but I mean, there are definitely people on the left who would agree with that. And there are some people on the right, the libertarians of the world, who are like, just make all drugs legal and people can choose if they want to kill themselves on a drug, let them kill themselves on a drug. But, is it too outrageous to say that a civilized, well-intended society does not subsidize or accept drug use as an acceptable behavior? I mean, I'll even go as far as the legalization of weed, of which I did not have a strong opinion. Well, I had like a strong feeling and opinion about it, but not one that I felt like I could have a foundationally good argument against saying legalize it. I feel more against weed now that it's been made so accessible than I ever did beforehand.
I do too, and I can't even tell you exactly why, other than it annoys the crap out of me.
It's super offensive when it enters your space, the space of your children, when you're going about your everyday activities, because everything reeks. And if everywhere you go, it reeks, you're just wondering, like, are all of these people who have a mental state that has been compromised or altered safely engaging in everyday activities all around me and my children? I have a problem with that.
And it's clearly increased illegal open drug usage.
Yeah.
We all know that. Everybody can acknowledge that drug usage, just marijuana alone, has gone up. We all knew that when we legalized it, and now you're dealing with it.
I say this
it just bothers me.
Whenever we talk about weed use, I always go back to this, but I think it's so sad. My kids think that skunks smell like weed. They don't think weed smells like skunks.
Yeah.
They're more exposed to weed than they are to
That's
skunks.
crazy.
And we live in a suburban / kind of rural area. Skunks abound. But the potheads abounder.
Maybe
It's more.
Maybe the potheads are out in the woods, like scrounging for food. And
I took my kids out, Pierre Marquette,
peeing in the woods
to try
on
to
a
just
tree.
kill a skunk so they could smell one. You know what we
Seriously?
ran into? A group of potheads out in the woods.
That's good to
They
know.
were chanting around a fire.
True story. Is that Outlander? What are you talking about? All right.
Doesn't matter.
Let's take a quick break here. When we come back, Ethan is going to present us with an Annie, Are You Okay? We'll see how you measure up to Trisha.
Probably not very good.
I don't know. We'll see. She's very busy right now. She couldn't come in and help us.
Oh, yeah.
Priorities, huh?
She's going to work hard. Working hard or hardly working, Trisha.
Just
Annie.
Steve robbed us of this song in the intro, by the way.
Oh, did he? Yeah. That's on Steve. Annie, are you? They're not here. They can't hear.
Who cares?
Annie, are you okay with Ethan? In for Trisha next. HomeShieldFoundationRepairs.com. Please consider visiting their website so that you can learn more about the method that they use to level out that uneven concrete, the dangerous safety hazard concrete that you have at home. There's a solution for it, and Matt Hayes has it. It's called polyjacking. What they do is they take a polyurethane foam, they inject it underneath the uneven concrete, and that foam expands underneath the concrete to raise it up. When they use this polyjacking system, it comes with a 5-year warranty. So you're going to be in a position to trust, of course, Home Shield Foundation Repair and Matt Hayes in this family-owned and operated business right here in St. Louis to get the job done, to get it done right, and it's going to last the test of time. Residentially, commercially, alike, you can reach out to Home Shield Foundation Repair, invite them out, let them see the situation you're looking to solve, and they'll talk to you about what they can do for you. So you go into it eyes wide open, and I think as soon as you meet Matt Hayes, you'll be like, this is definitely a good guy. I feel like I can trust him. You certainly can. 314-227-9636, 314-227-9636, HomeShieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Every week on the Moth Podcast, we share stories that are funny, strange, heartbreaking, and above all, true.
I myself have been married for 56 years. Unfortunately, to 4 different women.
It turns out the people I was looking for all my life is what you people would call nerds.
Follow and listen to The Moth on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon with news for listeners who, like me, want to learn more about Bitcoin. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club is coming to St. Louis later this summer. The Bitcoin Ben Crypto Clubs teach members what Bitcoin is, how to buy it, how to safely store it, and how to avoid scams. And we'll connect with others like us who want to learn more about crypto. St. Louis will be the 7th club nationwide and Ben's hometown. If you want to know more about Bitcoin, you need to know Bitcoin Ben. Learn more at bitcoinben.io. That's bitcoinben.io.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they're very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. And you know, your home is your sanctuary. You need to take the first step to peace of mind with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from the #1 Generac generator dealer in the country, Generator Supercenter. We learned the hard way here in St. Louis during the tornado recently that power can be knocked out. But even outside of that, what if the power grid fails and it's 100 degrees here in St. Louis? You don't want to be that person. Get with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis today. Generator Supercenter of St. Louis.com. Tell them that we sent you along.
The poll today on YouTube is, how does a preventative increased police presence make you feel? Safer, anxious, avoidant, or no different? I have not peeked at the results of this. Annie said that she was a little surprised by them. So let us know how you feel. It's a YouTube live chat poll. We'll give the results here soon. 2:37. Also stick around because we have one more pair of tickets to give away to Rascal Flats before 3 o'clock. So That's going to be soon. 2:37. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerriKelly.com.
Cutting through the spin. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
This just in. Trisha is not too busy doing other things. I have a text message from her that says, I can hear you. So, Ethan,
I'm going to pack my bags now.
I think she took off this segment, decided to just take the afternoon off just to hear how you do.
Breaking news. Trisha is here and got a lot uglier and got a lot deeper voice.
You're talking about you.
Yes. Had to make that clear. Trisha did not get
I
uglier.
did not connect that. For a second, I'm like, what happened?
It was actually a really, really, really long journey to a compliment.
It was a compliment.
Yeah.
It just came right after
I know what
Trisha
reel
were
I'm
listening, and then I said, Trisha's got uglier.
Yeah, you did. I think she might not
Call
be
my
listening
boss
anymore.
I think I got fired if I wasn't already. Alrighty. Hello, Annie and crew.
Hi.
And Ryan.
Hi.
All right, let's go ahead and get started
Hi,
here
Ethan.
so I can awkwardly avoid these interactions. Python challenge. Dear God.
You're toast.
Should I just walk out now?
Yeah. No, we just have to fill time.
Python challenge captures record-breaking 294 snakes.
All right, here we go. First story, stinking pile.
I don't like snakes.
The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission announced the winner of a 2025 Florida Python Challenge with a record total of nearly 300 Bernese pythons removed from South Florida's ecosystems during the competition. Over 934 participants. That seems like a very specific number. It was
I thought you said Bernese python, so I Googled that. I heard that wrong. It's Burmese.
No, they're all named Bernie. Over 934 participants from 30 states and Canada participated in the 10-day event, setting a new removal record. Taylor Stanberry emerged as the ultimate grand prize winner, capturing 60 pythons and earning $10,000 as a reward. The competition aims to raise awareness about the threat of invasive species to Florida's ecology and offers a hands-on approach to Everglades conservation. Annie.
Nightmare fuel.
Are you okay with snakes?
No, I'm not. I think in life you are more likely to encounter a spider than a snake. And those are often considered the two scariest living creatures or whatever. I'm way more afraid of spiders than I am snakes, but I do not want to spend time with snakes, especially pythons. I looked it up here real quick. The diet of a Burmese python primarily eats small mammals, and birds, but can also consume prey larger, like deer, alligators, and goats.
Wow.
A goat?
Or small
a
people.
Deer?
You know, the scariest animal would be a spider body with a snake head and a man's mind.
What? That's, I
Hello.
suppose, true. It's kind of hard to argue with.
With a man's mind, does that mean they can speak also or no?
No.
Are you guys like, what's snake fear called? I know arachnophobia is.
Snafir.
Yeah, snafir.
Snobia.
That's probably not it. Are you a snake guy?
Oh, yeah. I love snakes.
What a struggle bus.
I was waiting for
I thought
Brad
I
to
was
hit the
bad.
sound.
Brad's
but
on YouTube again.
He's not typing.
I'm Googling it's otophobia.
Nope, not close.
Are you a snake guy?
No, I don't like snakes.
Are there
Ethan?
snake guys?
Oh, gosh,
Oh,
yes.
yeah,
They have
for
them for
sure.
pets.
You ever been to
Freaks?
Florida?
No.
Okay, well.
Ethan, do you
part of the reason.
freak out about snakes?
I wouldn't say. I think snakes are really interesting, but, I'm more so like, I think they're interesting if, I'm 10 feet away from them. I'm not trying to hold them or anything like that. Here's the scary thing about pythons, too. They can get, 25 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
Nightmare.
The scariest ones are the ones that show up in your yard and tell you if you eat this, you will be like God.
You just said that the scariest ones are the ones that have spider bodies and the minds of humans.
Oh,
So-
Brett's a bracket.
Anyway.
Ryan's talking about Satan.
Yeah. I am.
Over 90% of Florida's species in the Everglades are basically like wiped out because of pythons also, by the way. So this
Super
is actually
invasive.
Really good.
Got to get them out of there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Couple sells $1,000 tickets to their wedding. Ahead of saying I do on August 1st, the Idaho-based digital entrepreneurs sold $1,000 tickets to their $50,000 wedding weekend extravaganza, making room for a whopping 270 guests, most of them strangers from the internet.
Really?
In quotations, we broke even and raised $132,000 for charity, the bride said, explaining that she'd first casually pitched the idea of
Was this
selling
Bezos'
tickets.
wife?
That would, I mean,
What?
It would add up.
Like, why, you're going to tell us here, but like, why do you need to sell tickets to your wedding?
Well, it says that, like I said, a lot of it was given to charity, but not all of it. It says, besides the usual rehearsal, dinner, wedding, and reception, the Pretty Penny permitted deep-pocketed participants to partake in a range of unusual offerings, from romance counseling sessions led by experts to a Saturday morning biohacking brunch. So it sounds
This is
like
a cult.
They included a bunch of special things in it as well.
Yeah, and if you wear these certain shoes to our wedding and drink this Kool-Aid, it's going to be the last wedding you've ever been to, and the
Time
best.
for a toast.
Annie.
No.
Are
Yes.
you okay with ticket selling for weddings?
No.
Would you buy a ticket to a wedding? That's a better one.
No.
I would if it was for an influencer I didn't know.
In that
in
situation.
Idaho.
Weddings are so... I kind of actually feel a little bit like they've come down from this a little bit. There was the time I got married in 2007. You too, right, Ryan?
Yep.
Me 3.
Not 2007. You were 6 or 7. 6 or 7. Brad, you were what, 08?
08.
Pinterest had kind of started to be a thing, so social media could kind of lend to the visualization, the marketing, if you will, of your wedding and what you're able to do. But I feel like the materialistic nature and there's no better example of how you can invest a ton of money in trying to impress upon people something about yourself than what people choose to do with weddings. And I don't think it has any bearing on the lasting nature of your actual marriage.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a waste of money. I always think about if you spent just an astronomical amount of money that you didn't have. If you have the money, spend it on whatever you want.
It's like opening a business. If you have a great grand opening, great. You should absolutely do the
Go for
ceremony,
it.
have the ribbon cutting. But then you have to operate a business.
And pay payroll and
You
all that
gotta
stuff.
do the
Yes.
stuff.
If you're focusing all of your efforts on the outward look of it, and then it's over, and then now you're married, if you can't pay your bills, that was upside down. One more.
Toothpaste made out of hair could be on shelves.
Oh my gosh.
In 2 years, scientists say
That
it's
actually
the
makes me
secret-
nauseous.
The secret to stopping tooth decay. Fluoride in toothpaste has been shown to strengthen tooth enamel, making your chompers more resistant to acids from plaque and bacteria that cause tooth decay. Researchers
Hair?
from a college in London say they have identified a substance that can protect against decay and repair early stage damage better than fluoride. Brace yourself. It's found atop your hair. It's called keratin. It's protein in human hair, skin, nails, and the wool of sheep. The UK researchers hope to channel the power of keratin into a daily toothpaste or professionally applied gel that can target problem
Get keratin
areas.
treatments at your salon for your hair.
It's just like dental floss.
Annie,
No.
are you okay with hair toothpaste?
No, I don't. There's a difference between hair and keratin as a protein.
Is there?
Yes.
Would you do it, though? Would you do it?
I don't know. My sister,
Even at the thought of, like it's coming from the top of heads.
does it taste like mint? I think.
What does it taste like?
Let me get back to you on that in the break.
No, I'm not for that. But there are a lot of, like ice cream has seaweed in it. Sometimes it's like a natural ingredient
not
that's
know
put
that.
in.
I did not
and
either.
for a long time, I was like, I don't think that I can do that anymore. And then I was like, yeah, I can. So am I picking the hair out of my teeth when I'm done with it? In that instance,
Thought of that
no,
is so gross.
not okay with it. We'll be right back with the poll results next. Don't go away.
Let them say we're crazy. I don't care about that. Put your hand in my hand, baby. Don't ever look back.
RetirementKey.com It's the website. You can visit right now and learn about Bob and Tammy Kershaw, the Retirement Advisory Group, of course, Thomas Helbig, and how they have helped people like you who are nearing retirement, even folks who have just recently retired, how they can sit down with you and help you get to your worry-free retirement. If you're worried about your nest egg and what could happen over the course of time, of course, we were talking about this before, if you're looking at 401k right now, you're probably thinking, well, that's not bad at all. But the ups come with the downs and the downs come with the ups. And you want to make sure that you can be predictable once retirement sets in. Let the Retirement Advisory Group help you build a personalized, structured income plan. It starts with a conversation, and the conversation costs you nothing, just maybe a little bit of your time. You call them at 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494. Talk to the Retirement Advisory Group about where you are, what your target retirement date is, and what retirement looks like for you. You'll be in very good hands. Online at retirementkey.com.
Mark Reardon isn't here to echo talking points. He challenges them. Smart, fast, and always original. The Mark Reardon Show. Weekdays at 3 on 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Hey, it's Mark Cox, and between now and the end of summer, chances are you or someone you know is in the market to buy or sell a home. And like me, you probably know a few realtors. In fact, I know several. However, when I needed to sell my home, I made just one call to Gloria Lou with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Yes, I'm an actual client. No matter what the market does, Gloria Lou will guarantee up front and in writing to sell your home at 100% of market value, or Gloria will pay you the difference.
St. Louis home sellers, if you're looking for certainty and the most money guaranteed for the sale of your home, call me, Gloria Lou. My name is My Promise, Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Call me directly at 314-325-6888 or visit me online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. That's gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Rooted in faith, grounded in family. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Don't be afraid of your freedom.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're glad that you're here with us. The YouTube live chat poll, how does a preventative, increased police presence make you feel? Safer, anxious, avoidant, or no different? Did you make up your mind, Ryan, on where you are on this?
Yeah, I would say safer overall. Just having the presence. I mean, at night, I don't really feel unsafe. I just don't. You've trained yourself so much, you don't even realize it, to just not do certain things. Like, because you go, oh, well, it's
like
not,
what?
You don't go to this area at night. You don't go to this area ever. You know, things that you just avoid. I in the daytime, I barely even walk outside anymore because between here and the edge of the building, not even a block, I've been stopped by multiple homeless people, and some of them are kind of aggressive. Some of them are not, but some of them are aggressive. And you're like, I just don't even go out and get lunch as much as I used to. And it's something you just subtly apply to your life without thinking about it. So I would say generally safer because you'd think, well, I don't have to worry as much.
What about you, Brad?
I feel safer. I mean, I was thinking back to the time when I was in the Capitol building. There were police officers there, not just police officers, but like the Capitol Police, and they had AR-15s and full body armor, and they were stationed around it. And you walk by it and you go, I don't feel unsafe around here. You know why they're there. They're there for protection. You know that like maybe the Capitol is a target for terrorists and stuff like that, and that's why that's there and all the little barriers that they put up around it. But it doesn't make me feel unsafe to know that there's a police presence there because they're there for the purpose of protection. And like the old saying goes, police are minutes away when seconds count. But if they're on the corner of the street, they're there when you need them and within earshot if you yell help.
I think I saw 45 arrests last night in D.C. Wonder what they're doing with all these people.
If you're a criminal, what do you think you're going to get away with right now in D.C.?
Did you see the guy who threw a Subway sandwich at a police officer?
Yeah.
We just spent yesterday talking about Subway sandwiches with Jesse Smollett.
That's right.
And Happy Gilmore. And now there's this guy who chucks a sandwich at law enforcement, and then he books it. I wish I had the video up with me right now, but I think this guy was wearing like a polo and khakis.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So it was a protester.
It was somebody who just decided that he was going, like, this is my moment, man.
So the crime is coming from leftist protesters that are protesting against law enforcement? I think that's very ironic, isn't it?
Super ironic. It's like, who throws a sandwich? What are you accomplishing at chucking your sub sandwich at law enforcement?
This isn't even crime. This is idiots that are just there to protest.
And it's not like he threw it from far away. He was like very close, and he almost slaps the cop with it.
So CNBC reports on it, DOJ fires sandwich thrower. DOJ. After he's charged with assaulting an officer in Washington, D.C., the man facing a felony federal assault charge for allegedly chucking a Subway sandwich at a U.S. Customs and Border Protection agent in Washington, D.C. was an employee at the Department of Justice.
What?
Wait. Did you think this through? Did this end the way you expected it? Because when you throw a sandwich at somebody, what's the best thing that can happen to the sandwich thrower? Donald Trump's like, you're right, never mind. How does that end in a way that is benefiting the sandwich thrower?
Well, I think it's obvious. The answer to your question is Donald Trump resigns. J.D. Vance also resigns. Nancy Pelosi comes back into office, takes over. And all of the Supreme Court justices that took office during Trump's 2 terms also all resign.
Well, that's not what happened.
Oh, okay.
He lost his job. The man identified in court documents as Sean Charles Dunn has been fired. Dunn worked in the International Affairs section of the Criminal Division of the DOJ. The department this week deployed hundreds of federal agents to D.C. as Trump federalized the city's police force to address what he says is rampant crime in the Capitol. The sandwiches were flying. Bondi said in an X post, I just learned that this defendant worked at the Department of Justice. No longer. Don't throw your sandwiches. Subway's got to be going, guys, come on.
Please, we're trying to sell these Happy Gilmore cups.
She also added, this is an example of the deep state we have been up against for 7 months as we work to refocus the DOJ. All right, that's a leap.
I feel better about our chances if that's the deep state. That guy.
You will not work in this administration while disrespecting our government and law enforcement, she said.
Well, she's right.
I wonder if they ate the sandwich. Ethan, you want to give us the results of today's poll?
Annie, I will gladly give the results
Thank you.
of today's poll as I pull it up.
Let's talk about it instead
Pulling up the poll.
doing it.
I feel safer when I see them. So I'm in that camp for sure.
Safer.
Brad?
Safer.
236 votes on today's YouTube live chat poll. How does a preventative increased police presence make you feel? 86%. 86% say safer. 3% say anxious. 3% say avoidant. And 9% say no different.
That's resounding. There's no conflict there whatsoever. Thank you, police officers and law enforcement, for what you do, for making us safe, especially those in D.C. doing the job right now. Mark Reardon next.
You have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous serious policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
The Dittamore Group, oh man, what a smart move it is to hire Tammy, Zach, Pat, Abby, and Trisha at the Dittamore Group to help you purchase your next home. Or if you have to, the steps are important. Sell your home first, list your home first. That whole process, all of it. You can go to the Dittamore Group. You can have, questions without a lot of answers because they have the answers. Their team has extensive access to information about communities that they're dealing with. And those communities hit both sides of the river. It includes, and is not limited to, though, those schools that are in the area. You're going to definitely want to look at a place that has a good school system. It's even good for resale if you're not going to utilize them yourself. The population that's there, the recreational that is accessible, entertainment, all of that. So if you're looking to relocate, if you're looking to settle officially, go to the Dittamore Group. Talk to them about your move. Talk to them about your listing. And hire the winning team. 618-531-4652, thedittamore.com.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2025 with the Turtles, Jay and the Americans, Little Anthony, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, the Vogues, and the Cowsills. August 21st, the Family